Test, test, test. Okay. Sorry for the background noise. Just getting set up here. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Hello, hello. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope you guys have had a great week. It's nice to be back in the world of Clair Obscur. Been looking forward to this all week. Not gonna lie, last time was super fun, and I've been super eager to dive back into the universe and get back to seeing what the rest of the continent has to offer at this point, especially since we found such an amazing array of stuff in a relatively innocuous looking side area. Let me bring the game volume down a little bit. Just want to make sure that we're not competing for real estate with that. But yeah, hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to catch up on chat before I get started here. Sorry, it says, grind time. I am here to spread a message. An author's ability to solve conflict with magic is directly proportional to how well the reader understands said magic. Yes, if you leave an egg in an empty box and said egg gets crushed, the cause must lie within the egg itself. Yeah, so that's interesting. Is that a real quote? Is it a real thing? You said it's Howe's egg principle. I hadn't heard of it before, but I think I understand where that individual is coming from, and where you're coming from with the overall suggestion there. Personally, I think it's fun to nitpick stuff like that and be like, well, what are the other possibilities and explanations for what might have happened to the box and the egg? But I think I understand. It's sort of like Chekhov's gun, right? Like, it's one of those principles that seems to inhabit a similar sphere. If you are aiming to build consistent world building, make sure that you provide your audience with adequate explanations for what's going on, that you set things up correctly, that you show, reasonable correlations between events and actors in the world, and that when those things happen, that it makes sense in terms of the rules that you yourself have set up. I think that probably feeds into what you were saying about the magic system before, right? Hopefully I've understood. Then this cavalcade of hand sanitizers. Glad you are keeping yourself sano e salvo, as we would say in Italian. It's time for war. Stand your ground and destroy all egg crushers. Yes, indeed. We don't want our eggs getting surreptitiously fucked with. That's it's nobody's idea of a good time. I would fucking hope. Anyway, let's see. The power of Grayskull. I love all the, dioramas that you've created for the creatures of the emoticon, world that you've set up there. It's delightful. You've got your own, fuck the emoji movie. You've got something much more compelling set up there. Okay, so before we dive into the full-on adventure, I just wanted to make sure that I am accurately exploring everything that is available to be explored in terms of side content. Specifically, I think we only need one more whatchamacallit. We only need one more unlock for the painting, that secret painting factory thing. So let's see. We have right, okay, so I think one of the entrances was here that we found, and then we must have gone to this one before, which means that, or wait, no, since this one is on a floating platform, we probably can't get to this one until later, but then we did find this one over here, which is why this has a highlight on it, but this one probably doesn't. It means it's not been discovered yet. So that would mean that this probably isn't discovered, and so if anything, I can go try to check out this place and go up here. I think that's what we were going to do last time, is just kind of go up the coast to the left and see what we could find. And then we got to go over here to the east first and do the more challenging one. I think, I forget if it was Loon or Ciel who said that would be a more challenging one, but I want to try it out. And then it looks like maybe over here there's something too, and we can kind of come down here, fuck around in this little inlet and see if there's anything there. I don't want to spend too much time. Like, I know we got to go do the initial area where was it, that Abyss Cave and stuff like that. There's a couple of places we got to go back and check on our friend the Nevron in the initial place that had a quest for us. But I'm guessing that, especially since, you know, I've had it spoiled for me a little bit, that SK is going to fly later on, so I'm going to wait, and we're going to do like one big final exploration pass and clear up all the side quests later. We gotta go back up to the ice area as well, and I think there's one other thing that I'm forgetting, but anyway, we're gonna make sure to do as much of the side content as we possibly can, except for the fucking I'm not doing the fucking parkour things. I tried it off screen, I should call it off screen because it drove me fucking crazy. But no, I tried it off stream and was not able to make any progress, so that might wind up getting pushed to the sidelines. Sorry, says, hope your week has been going well. Yeah, it's been going pretty well, actually. So I am in kind of a weird limbo with work where we keep getting told, like, this is basically the end of your deadline and you just need to work a couple of more hours overtime, or just like pull together a little bit for the next few days, and then everything's going to be fine, you'll be done. And so I'm wary of working overtime, just for, like, you know, I've worked a lot of overtime in the past for my career, and it's something that you have to do, but it obviously has like implications for your health and for like family stuff, you know, so I try not to do it just for fun. I do it when I need to, and that's it. Oh, I think we found that this was like, yeah, we can't access this right now, right? So that being said, I do want to make sure that I'm available for like my coworkers, because if they're getting slammed with a bunch of extra shit, you know, from production or whatever, that I want to be available to help. And so basically this week I kind of let myself not exactly get peer pressured, but something vaguely like that. Oh, it looks like paint, like ink. That's so cool. Into working like overtime a bunch, because it would basically be like, oh hey, we just need to push a little bit harder to get through this one thing, and then we'll be done. Oh wait, hey, this other thing came up, can you just handle this? And then this other thing came up, right? And so it very quickly became like this chain of events that I thought we were literally going to be prohibited from making changes to the build like 2 weeks ago, but it just keeps getting extended and extended and extended. So at this point, it's like I have to do a better job of setting some boundaries, because I'm getting exhausted. But at the same time, it's still been like fun. It's I think I'm in over my head here. It's still been fun. You know, I enjoy the work. I enjoy my colleagues. We're getting stuff done. It feels exciting. I just have to make sure to actually like take a fucking breath every once in a while. You know what I mean? One sec. I get the impression that I might have overextended myself here, but I'll try to see what I can come up with. Short combo. Okay, wasn't too bad. So let's see. Oh, Ryomin Yagami, hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. How has your week been? It's good to see you. Sorry, Zipone says, yes, it's from Tales of Exilia. If you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. I've heard that somewhere before as well. I think they're referencing something outside of the game, right? Like that's, that feels like an Einstein quote or something. It's so familiar for some reason. But yeah, how are you doing? How's everything going on your end? Hope that you're doing well as well. So let's see. I think I might try to go for perfect break here. Even though it's a little bit risky. Okay. Stunned. Okay, great. And now I should be able to do... I can't do another flare-aim, but I can at least do a spark. Excellent. That's a weakness. Okay, so I thought breaking her was going to, you know, help us out, but not by very much. Okay. Well, I wonder if I could solo it with with my L. Oh, she gets stronger. Okay, wonderful. Let's see. Okay, I mean, it's not like extremely unreasonable. It's just pretty difficult. Oh my god. Wow, the difference that virtuose and inverted makes is like astronomical. Probably unsurprisingly. Okay, so I think I'll try that like maybe 2 or 3 more times, but obviously this will be easier if I come back later. Oh, Sherlock Holmes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I knew I had heard that somewhere before. Makes sense. Do you like mystery stories in general, Saria? I don't know if we've ever talked about that. Oh, weird. It's really not doing all that much damage in general. Let's see. Okay, I gotta watch out for that last one. That's the one that's kind of throwing me off. All right, let's see. I think fire is obviously going to be very helpful here, and the burning damage specifically. Let's see how that works out. Nice. Okay, not bad. All right, now let's do another one of these. And nice break. Yeah, it's like hardly doing any damage, but the fire is doing something. So maybe we can keep that up for a little while. Yeah, okay, that might work. Okay, so I think let's try medium fire damage. Let's try this. Okay, yeah, that's pretty fucking good. That was like, what, 30,000 damage with that attack? So I think let's revive him, just to use as a bit of healing pop. And offensive. Oh, I can use a gradient attack with her, right? Yeah, there we go. Virtuous, high physical. And this will put me into virtuous for next time, where I will... I think that really didn't do anything. Oh well. But it puts me into virtuous, and being in virtuous, and now having the chance to apply more fire damage, you should have like, what, 33 fire stacks. So yeah, that's not bad at all. That's unfortunate, but okay. One of the things that is actually like very much appreciated about this game, but actually kind of like working against it, so to speak, is just the fact that oh, 1 second. Or not even working against it, it's just, how can I say this? Like, it's kind of amusing to me that sec. Can I revitalize? No, not yet. Okay, so I'll just use another one of these to revive. That's not the word that I'm looking for. It's not working against the game, but it is kind of... I need to focus actually, 1 sec. Yeah, so in those combos, like if the enemy is attacking somebody on my team and that person on my team fails, it won't like transfer the damage to another character, you know what I mean? And I feel like they could have done that to increase the difficulty even further, which is good for me because it basically just like means that even if I do terribly, I can still have, you know, not my entire party ever get wiped out in one fell swoop. There's always at least a chance of me recovering. Does that make sense? There we go. See, that's what I need. I need that shit every turn. God, she is so awesome. Let me take a break and read really quick. Saria says, I'm doing well. I'm bringing Game of Thrones. Oh, you're binging Game of Thrones. Yeah. I saw you mention that in the chat earlier. I'm sorry that I didn't respond to that, but I'm really excited to hear that. I really want to know what you think about it. It's got some very strong, very compelling characters, and I would love to know what you think of the story overall and the world building and all that stuff too. Sorry says, I really just want to get the show over with now. I'm only I only 3 seasons in, and I hate what they've done with Daenerys. So painful. Well, not to spoil anything, but I feel like Daenerys is strongest between seasons 2 and 4, if I'm remembering the order of events correctly. So that's kind of unfortunate. Hopefully things will pick up a little bit going on into the next season for you, but yeah, I would love to hear what you think of Daenerys overall, because Daenerys is a character that I think at the time a lot of people really appreciated, and I think a lot of women kind of celebrated as a powerful figure. In retrospect, I think that the narrative around her has kind of changed and people's feelings have shifted a bit. I don't want to really say much. I'd rather hear like what you have to say on the subject. But yeah, it is definitely... It's an interesting series, and like that character in particular is probably the most polarizing one in the entire series. So yeah, I hope you're able to find some enjoyment in it, but obviously no pressure. You know, like if you want to know what happens later, I can without having to suffer through it, I can try to tell you what the good or the bad parts are as best as I can remember it. House of the Dragon is actually pretty good. It's not like a full sequel. It doesn't really feel, in terms of like overall production quality and stuff, but it was still enjoyable. My partner and I have seen both seasons and we liked it. You know, it was fun. Sorry says, yeah, I enjoy a good mystery if the author is able to write it well enough to give me clues to solve along with the characters. That's like right up my alley. Cool, that's awesome. I was gonna recommend, my partner and I recently saw, hang on one second. Yeah, do this. We recently saw, what was that show called? Glass Onion and Knives Out, and both of those were a lot of fun. Okay, damn it, I didn't have enough stains. I was trying to proc the regeneration effect. That was the total waste. Oh well. I learned something, so I guess it wasn't a total waste. Okay. Medium. Okay, I'm already at max rank, so Radiant Slash, maybe Assault Zero. Okay, that's not bad. Damn, okay. Finally pulling his fucking weight. Okay, I think we got this. I just need to kind of watch myself. This would actually be... I'm starting to lean more towards having Loon be a bit of a... like, focusing more on shielding and stuff like that. That might actually be helpful. But for now, let's see. I should... So if I use Wildfire, it'll apply 3 burn, and it should do more damage because it should consume the 2 light stains, right? So if I try that... Yeah, okay. Okay. Maybe I spoke too soon. See how this goes? Okay. Okay. That's fair. I mean, like, for like a mini boss like this, ramping things up like that feels totally reasonable. I'm just gonna keep on applying this. I'm doing all that much. We'll see. Yeah. Now, ironically, fucking Verso over here might actually carry us. Let's see how this goes. Oh no! Wow, that was pathetic. Okay, shit. Okay, I almost got it, but I fucked up that last hit. Well, shit. I don't know what she's, I don't know what she's vulnerable to now. Oh, I have 2 gradient charges, though. Okay, so maybe I can use a gradient charge to get into Virtuous and break her, and then do something with Verso. Alright, now I'm in Virtuous. Okay, so can I break now? God, I love the mechanic of the gradient stuff. Okay, let's try this. Break. Stun. Okay. So this is probably very risky and stupid, but I want to see... Oh wait, let's see what happens. Medium physical damage to all enemies, 1 hit, apply mark. Okay, perfect. See, that was awesome. Now Verso's actually doing something useful. And Loon, I think, is just lagging behind a little bit, and I haven't optimized her at all, so it kind of makes sense. Ooh, I got a new weapon, Moisson. Are you going to eat that morsel? It's funny to me, probably. Exclusively, but still. Let's see. Oh, Sari says she's just not my Danny. She's not the one I read in the books. Oh, I see. It was okay in season 1, I was like, okay. Then season 2 happened, I was like, huh. Now in season 3, I'm just like, I hate this. Technically going into season 4. That I'm really sorry to hear that. So I don't have any experience with the books. If you feel like elaborating on it, I would be curious to know what they did differently in the show. I always was under the impression that that the stuff that happened in the show was relatively the same as what happened in the books for the first 4 or 5 seasons, because George R. R. Martin was working on it. Am I sort of not correct about that? I'd be curious to know. Sun skills, yeah, okay. I think this one is, it's very powerful, geez. Level 17, during Twilight, all damage levels converted to dark damage. That seems a little weird that, like, okay, so this is level 14, it's almost 1200 damage, but this is level 17. Agility scaling is B. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, this still seems better. Moon skills are always, okay. I still haven't found a weapon for her that, like, really clicks with me. I think Chatillon is probably, like, the best overall. But, I mean, this could actually be good too, but I think I need to, like, upgrade this some more. I guess that's something I should do now before we proceed, is just, like, go back to camp real quick. Can I do that? And just, like, run through my upgrades. I forgot if I did that last time. Okay. I don't think so. I think I still have some stuff I can do. Yeah, it is really interesting to me, Saria, that you mentioned last time that the mansion was originally intended to be the base camp. And I kind of wish that, like, you know, I know that things happen in development time and development cycles and stuff gets tricky and stuff. But yeah, I definitely think it would be cool if this camp was just something you had access to for the first maybe act of the game, and then once things really kick off, then you get access to the other place. It would also feel a little bit more like, some players would probably hate this, but I would kind of like it if you couldn't just arbitrarily go to camp by pressing a button. I kind of like the idea of you maybe being able to fast travel to a point near. Oh no, actually no. Since they're not doing fast travel anyway, I think it'd be kind of cool if you could only access camp by going through, like, portals into the building. You know, like finding those big ass doors, because then it would be, you know, like an opportunity to hunt down these, like, safe points, almost like bonfires in Dark Souls, as opposed to just a button that takes you back to camp, right? So, I mean, I don't know. It's not like the end of the world or anything. It's just, I think that could be potentially a nice way of just developing a better relationship with the camp system overall. But let's see. Scavarim, 50% chance to generate a dark stain when consuming stains. Interesting. Deal 15% more damage with skills per active dark stain. I didn't even know she could make dark stains. That's cool. I wonder if they're, like, basically like the equivalent of light stains, that they can be used for anything that you want. What is she using now? She's using Poitiarim. Healing skills generate 1 additional light stain. Yeah, so I was using this specifically for that boss fight, but that wasn't what I was using for the most part. Increased damage with fire skills. Yep, that's probably where I want to go back to eventually. But man, that power is just lagging way the fuck behind. Probably because I just haven't, like, spec'd her correctly. I should have put more damage into her, I think, or put her more into damage. So let's see. Rank can't be lower than C. Lansacham is still looking really good. Class is so 1 perfection on critical hit. Lose 1 perfection instead of 1 rank. That's actually pretty interesting now that I think of it. So this is an increase in overall power. The nice thing about Lanzaram is that it doesn't have an element, and I kind of like the neutral element thing. because it means that I'm never going to be like having my attacks absorbed. That kind of sucked last time. Um, and I like starting at rank C. That seems like a big advantage, but overall, net, this might be to our advantage as well because, it boosts rank S, and losing a perfection instead of a rank means that we'll be able to sustain things higher overall. So I might want to try fucking with this. Do Aliso, play again after base attack. That's like fine. Um, Casting a light skill increases damage of next physical skill. Physical skills. Yeah, this is pretty good as well. This could be really good for, blasting away with some of my higher abilities. Light element for the battle on rank B with the 50% health. That might actually be good too, but I'm not sure if that's enough. I like the way that they are balancing this. So a lot of the attacks and abilities have a pretty significant drawback, but it feels fair, Um, Base attack is one perfection per burn on a target. Interesting. Okay, so if I have this available and a target is burning and I attack it with a base attack, that can help me boost my perfection more. So that would be really cool to try and mess with. Even though the damage is far less. So yeah, I think for Verso I'm gonna mess with Galteram and Danseso for now. Cruleram, don't lose rank or take damage from powerless enemies. Abisaram, uh, yeah, no, I'm gonna leave that alone for now. And then same thing, this isn't really doing anything for me one way or another. Okay, so I have some things to mess with there. What about you? Start in Virtual Stance. I can level this up and it'll do even more damage, which is great. I don't think recover 20% health on switching to Virtuous. Like, I don't think any of these other things are really all that useful. I mean, like, for building up Fire Charge, yeah, like, winding up in Defensive Stance a lot could be helpful. But Virtuous is really where I want to wind up as much as possible. So in Defensive Stance, gaining a P, yeah, sure. Critical hits apply burn, that's fine, but I'm already getting enough burn charges. I don't really want to be using base attacks. Double gradient generation while in defensive stance, that is useful, but I mean, I can't really part with this. So you, my friend, are going to continue being an absolutely dominant tank, and I think, yeah, I don't want to use all of my stuff on her because I want the other characters to be able to do something. But let's see. Parries increase the bestial wheel by 1. Oh yeah, this is fine. As for you, while having at least one active moon charge, moon skills are always critical, but double damage is taken. 3 aim shots consume 1 foretell to deal. Yeah, I don't really want to do free aim. Chatillon sun skills always apply 10 foretell, but all damage taken is doubled. See, this is the thing. She's like having 10 foretell out as soon as possible feels like it's such a useful thing. It feels like it's just sprinkling the battlefield as quickly as possible with the most powerful stuff. So I feel like the way to build her is probably around this. Like, get all of the foretell out as soon as possible and then just find other ways to maximize her like healing and defensive capabilities with whatchamacallit, with other abilities, because like looking at the passes from other things, AP per moon charge on start, that could be good, but I'm not gonna like be storing up a whole lot of charges. During Twilight, every time foretell is applied, also affects another random enemy. That's good, but like Twilight isn't on constantly. Apply 1 burn every 3 foretell applied with skills. That is pretty good actually. Like the extra burn from that could be very useful. Killing an enemy with foretell, that's too rare. During Twilight, all damage dealt is converted to dark damage. See, that's great if the enemies are weak to dark damage, but otherwise it's going to get absorbed. Can consume 1 moon charge on turn start to recover 20% of each ally's health. That's fine, but I mean, I don't want to be using the base attack unless I have to. So Ranjasan healing skills. So this could be useful, but again, like I'm not really using all that much healing, and Cieleson doesn't have any passives. So right now my choices are like Blizon is fine. It does a lot of like base damage. But my choices really are between Châtillon and between Goblusson. And I think the Châtillon is like more interesting to me overall because it feels like it's leaning more into like Ciel's overall like power dynamic, and the it's probably going to be difficult to balance around because of the health debuff or whatever, like the damage debuff. But at the same time, that's kind of what she should be doing, is putting sun skills down on the board, building up as much foretell as possible, and just nuking things. So I feel like leaning into her being a glass cannon makes sense, and then just trying to find ways to mitigate her, like that part of her build makes sense to me. So I am going to upgrade this. Hopefully I'm not wasting not wasting that, but it just feels right, you know? So I think we're going to do that. I want to kind of bring her back into the party for now. Luna's not going away permanently, but I think Verso's been fun, but like he's not, I don't know, he's a little bit boring, and other characters are falling behind. So we're going to do Mael, we're going to do Monaco, because I need to start collecting some of his stuff. And let's see. And we're going to do, I think, Ciel. And I just want to play around with her abilities a little bit more. I want to make sure, though, that with her abilities that she has... Okay, so this is a sun. Okay, yeah, it's the sun abilities that apply the foretell, and the dark abilities that consume the foretell. So this is great. This is exactly where she needs to be. Mael's still carrying, obviously. And then we can kind of go from here. Don't worry, I'm not getting rid of the feet. I'm just... Why is that the one that I comment that I see at first? Let's just get Monaco up a little bit. Everybody to basically be at the same average level. Mael's gonna get to 100 first, of course. And then, you know, let's get Loon up a little bit because she's lagging behind. Yeah, okay. So with that being said, let's do this real quick. I know I keep saying that I'm going to fucking optimize my Luminas. I am gonna do it one of these days, I promise. But for today, let's just get her up to recover 15% health on base attack. That's well, no, I never do that anyway. Gain rush if fighting alone. Healing an ally also applies rush. Energizing start. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. Okay. Monaco, he needs some too. Okay. Energizing start. The energizing starts are great. And then as for you, okay, let's see. Energizing, revive. That should be fine. Critical moment, that's fine. Okay. Alright, I know I still have some more optimization to do, but that should get us ready to go. Oh, there's more dialogue here. I didn't realize that. Let me catch up with Saria real quick here. So, she's just not my Dany. Oh yeah, you said that. Like for season 2, for example, she's very arrogant and bratty. That's not Daenerys. Daenerys is very kind. She's unsure sometimes. She doesn't know how to break the wheel, but this Dany feels off. She's intelligent and shows she's kind at times, but then she'll say and do things that are like, Dany wouldn't act like this. Jon is the same way. He's so gentle. He's like a good boy. Jon is a lot darker in the books. Like, yeah, he's a good guy, but he's not really like TV Jon. Feels like they've been somewhat inverse, and I don't like that. Yeah, I'm sorry for the Rose killing, getting rid of feetness. Yeah, that kind of sucks. It seems like there's been a very dramatic shift in their characters then. See, now I'm curious to read the books and see how things have changed. It's very surprising to me, honestly. I don't know why. I guess I just figured that it was a much closer adaptation overall. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
C'était vraiment super méchant. Je croyais qu'il tenait à nous. Mais Renoir n'est pas lui-même.
Il n'est pas... Je sais, mon pote. Moi aussi, je suis en colère.
Cool.
Alors, tu profites des étoiles?
Elles sont comme les pommes du ciel.
Pomme de ciel.
J'adore ta vision du monde.
Oh, cette constellation ressemble trop à François.
Franchement, elle n'est pas assez bougonne. Elle devrait râler plus souvent.
See, I know that, like, apparently we're not supposed to like Verso, but the way that he said that, like, I love the way you see the world, that's something that, like, only a few people in my life have ever said something to me like that. And it's like, if I wasn't in love with you already when you said that, I would have fallen in love with you. You know, like, it's such a sweet and such a wonderful thing to say to another person. It's tough for me to, like, I'm like setting myself up for the grand betrayal later on or something. I'm trying not to let myself get too swayed by this charming motherfucker, but he's making it hard with with lines like that. Ryoman asks, who wins Kakuzu versus Sasori and Deidara versus Conan? Very interesting questions. Let me get to the end of this cutscene and I'll give it some thought and then I'll give you a response.
François n'est pas vraiment bougon. Il est juste triste. Cléa lui manque. Avant, Franfran était tout le temps. Ouais. Mais maintenant, il est plutôt.
Oh, this is where this comes from.
Ouais.
Okay, I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything, but seeing those procedurally generated facial animations, like his lips were flapping and his mustache was flapping all over the place when all he was saying was "way." It's really funny.
Ben oui, ouais. Comme dans le temps, quand il n'y avait rien d'autre dans le monde que nous quatre et qu'on partait sans cesse à l'aventure.
Ah, je vois. Mais pourquoi bouh?
Oui, mais quand plusieurs siècles passent sans que tu puisses voir tes meilleurs amis, au bout du compte, tu deviens tout bon.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
Comment ça se fait que tu ne sois pas bougon comme François?
Oh, mais je le suis.
I need this exact frame, like on my wall, emblazoned, like cross-stitched above the mantelpiece.
Oh, vraiment?
Moi aussi, je suis un peu
Mhm,
je suis
mhm, mhm.
ouais. Sauf que chez moi, le ouais et le s'équilibre, c'est tout.
S'équilibre. Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad I finally got to see the source for where this comes from. This was the only thing that I knew about the game before starting it, really, is somebody had posted this somewhere, and I was like, oh, I like this. So... And this is what we talked about, Saria, about how, like, the persona giving you through the same options. But this is like... So this is how good Clair Obscur is. It took that thing that I hate and it actually made it fun, because I don't care which one I pick, they're both the right answer.
On pourrait presque dire que tu es du genre webou, alors.
Ouais, 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 ouais.
Tu me
I love it.
comprends vraiment, Verso.
C'est normal. J'avoue que je suis un peu webou, moi aussi.
Mhm.
Même si je dois bien avouer que je me sens plus bou que ouais, ces temps-ci.
Yep, I feel you. Oh, it's so cute.
Hey, tu ne trouves pas que celle-là ressemble un peu à Monoko?
Oh, et si tu plisses les paupières et que tu la regardes en faisant la grimace, celle qui est juste à côté, on dirait Noko.
That was really cute. I love that. I wonder if there's a reason why... No, probably not. I was gonna say, I wonder if there's a reason why the screen gets kind of like black and whitey when their relationship increases like that, but I'm guessing it's just like a stylistic effect. Although, I did notice that the particle effect that they use when you transition from level 3 to level 4 or whatever, it's that red and white pedal combination again, which is a continuing motif, which I am... Oh, interesting. Cool. Oh, nice. All right. So I want to get, like, I don't want to spend all of our time here going through all these in sequence right now, because I want us to, make some progress. But I will come back here and make sure to advance my relationship. Maybe, like, do another side area and then come back and check in on people. That's cool. I didn't realize that we were like gaining abilities and stuff, but that is really neat. I like that a lot. Um, let's see. Hopefully I won't miss out on anything. Ah, shit. I better check up on them because I don't want to miss anything. Like if I ignore them or something. Um, but anyway, let me try to answer your question, Ryomen. Kakuzu versus Sasori. We actually talked about it on stream, but it was like 6 months ago. So I don't know if it's worth going back and trying to listen to that. It's probably a bit rough. But honestly, I think that they both have potential win conditions. I think what I said at the time was that Sasori, has a lot of poisons, and the fact that Kakuzu like hardens his skin when he fights Raido. So when Raido shows up and saves the party from, saves Shikamaru and them, he shows up amidst the crows and then he stabs her with the ebony blade, and Kakuzu says "ebony blade," and then he kind of puts his head to the side and it glances up against his cheek. It's not really explaining what's happening there. The data book clarifies that that blade is actually covered in an extremely powerful poison. And then Shikamaru analyzes that and figures out that Kakuzu must have hardened his skin. So I think that's Kakuzu self-reporting and telling us that he's weak to poison. Like, he recognizes what that thing is, and he makes the conscious decision to use a ninjutsu, like Diamond Morph, to block it. So, I mean, obviously we can debate this. Like, I think Kakuzu God was on stream at the time, and he said something like he could use his wind-style jutsu to push the poison clouds back and stuff like that. But the problem is that Sasori has like 100 individual puppets, all with individual blades. And if Kakuzu in character, his response to poison blades is just to like wall up with that jutsu, there's only so much defensive maneuvering he can take before some amount of poison gets into him and he gets messed up. I think he has win conditions. I think he can potentially do it. I think a diamond armor or diamond morph punch could potentially do some damage. I don't know how strong his jutsu... I mean, like, probably False Darkness could do some damage. But overall, I think Sasori just has more in his arsenal. I don't know how Kakuzu is dealing with, like, Iron Sand, for example. But, I mean, I think it's debatable for sure. And as for, let's see, the other one was Deidara versus Conan. I think Deidara has some more impressive jutsu overall in terms of overall, like, AP and DC. The problem is that he tends to run out of ammunition pretty quickly. Like, he burns through his supply very fast, comparatively. And so I don't think he would be able to outlast Conan, especially since Conan has the ability to kind of like quote unquote phase through things with her paper person of God technique or whatever it's called, like her angelic technique, that, or the technique that turns her body into a bunch of different like paper clones and shit like that. She can apparently distribute herself amongst those paper clones. I think she'd be able to use the paper bombs to kind of get behind Deidara's defenses, and would probably ultimately just like outlast him and then finish him off. Don't pause on that. But I can definitely see an argument. Like, I don't think she has much of an answer for C0, right? Like, or whatever the one is. I forget if it's C0 or C4, where he uses those parasitic micro bombs. Like, if she doesn't realize what those are, and I don't know why she would, then I think those would disintegrate her paper form. And so, really, if the fight goes down the way it did with like against Deidara, against Gaara, then I think Deidara would win. And if it goes down, sorry, if Deidara was fighting against Conan the same way that he fought against Gaara, I think Conan would win in that situation. But if he fought against Conan the way he fought against Sasuke, I think Deidara could win in that situation, if that makes sense. It really depends on which jutsu he uses in what sequence, and whether or not he is able to make effective plays before he runs out of ammo.
Je suis désolé, mon vieux. On va ramener nos corps. Je sais. Je suis prêt. Dis-moi juste quand tu voudras le faire.
Oh shit, okay.
Quand le moment sera venu, une fois qu'on aura réglé tout ça.
Carefully cleaning his nephron legs is a weird fucking phrase.
Tu fais briquer ta collection de jambes de Néron.
Oh, the one, the ones that he collected. I thought that meant like he was carefully cleaning his own ones.
Oui. Splendide, pas vrai?
Sorry for the noise in the background. I'm going to just grab a snack real quick. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so.
Splendide. C'est un terme qu'on doit pouvoir utiliser pour les décrire, en effet.
Ton manque d'enthousiasme est proprement désolant.
Mais quel besoin...
Sorry again, I'm sorry about the rustling noises. Be over real soon. Okay, there we go.
Un guerrier doit toujours être prêt au combat, lequel est tout autant mental que physique.
Mental, hein?
Imagine que tu es un évron et que tu me vois, moi, en train de te charger, armé de la jambe luisante et briqué avec le plus grand soin de l'un de tes frères. Tu serais intimidé comme jamais. À vous.
C'est vrai, je ne voudrais pas affronter quelqu'un qui se sert d'une jambe velue comme d'un gourdin. Mais plus en raison de l'odeur que d'un quelconque facteur d'intimidation, si je suis vraiment honnête.
Et à ce moment, je me transforme en l'un d'eux. Ah, intimidation et confusion. À partir de cet instant, la bataille est déjà gagnée. Le reste, c'est juste du nettoyage.
Nettoyage. Yeah, I love that word.
Amusant que ta superbe stratégie ne semble pas fonctionner contre les stalactes. Tu trouves pas?
Les stalactes sont trop stupides pour comprendre qu'ils devraient être intimidés et nager en pleine confusion.
Je vois. Ce n'est pas du tout parce que tu as peur d'eux, n'est-ce pas?
Ha! Moi, je n'ai peur d'aucun évron, et surtout pas des stalactes.
Parfait. Dans ce cas, ça te dirait d'aller intimider quelques stalactes? J'ai un peu de temps à tuer.
Oui, ce serait sans doute exaltant.
Monaco's not a very good liar.
Mais peut-être plus tard. Je dois d'abord finir de briquer ma collection. Il me reste une vingtaine de jambes à terminer.
Ah, tu m'as manqué, tu sais. Allez, pousse-toi un peu et donne-moi un chiffon que je t'aide. Faisons briller ces jambes de mille feux, qu'elles aveuglent nos ennemis et les fassent fuir en hurlant.
That was great. I love that. I really... Loon comes over to shush them. Cute. I really hope that Verso doesn't wind up being like a total irredeemable piece of shit because he's starting to grow on me. And it sucks because I don't want to like him. I don't want him around. He's like a cheap, like he's a dollar store fucking Gustav. I want my Gustav back, but that's the point, right? So, we'll see.
Malgré toutes ces cicatrices, tu n'as jamais battu un axon?
Il faut dire qu'ils sont vraiment dangereux.
Et tu penses que nos chances sont proches de zéro?
Je croyais que tu ne te préoccupais pas de ce genre de choses.
Lune et moi avons moins d'un an à vivre. Mais pour Maël, c'est différent.
I don't know if this will sound weird at all, but like, I kind of hope the game doesn't go in a romantic relationship direction between Verso and anybody else. I don't know why, I just like... I feel like that would be kind of creepy given the circumstances. Saria says,
Pardonné pour ta précédente
Deidara tried to rid the world of the Uchiha clan. It's true, he was so, like, consumed by his pride. But also, it's weird, right? Because, like, I think he respected Itachi as, like, a kind of artist, but then also felt intimidated by that. And that sort of, like, fucked with his head, and he just couldn't let it go, which is really weird. But kind of makes sense given how, like, prideful he was. I kind of wish we had got to see more interactions between Deidara and whatchamacallit, and Sasori. Like their different aesthetics and their preferences there. Ryoman says Kisame versus Orochimaru. I'm gonna have to think about that one. That is tough. Instinctually or like knee-jerk reaction is Kisame because I think like his big like fused with Samehara specifically, his big absorby water bottle and his like regeneration I think is more significant than Orochimaru's because I'm just thinking of like some top of like back of the napkin math scaling, right? Like Orochimaru kind of gets his shit rocked by 3 to 4 tails Naruto, 4 tails Naruto specifically. Killer Bee should, especially in like going up to 7 tails or whatnot, should be stronger than that, I think. And Kisame was able to handle that version of Killer Bee. Now, granted, Bee was holding back somewhat because like Ponta and Sabuchan were there as well. So I don't know if that scaling is great. Also, like Orochimaru has so many, like we only see him in like full strength very briefly, and then he's always in like these weird like partial nerf states throughout the rest of the series. So if you can like imagine a version of Orochimaru that, like, I don't know, got a fresh body, could use all of his jutsu, was in full force and everything, that would be different. But we don't, like, the only time we really see that Orochimaru is when he's, you know, not even really fighting that much himself. Like, he clashes with Hiruzen a couple of times, mostly he's just using his summons. So then, like, yeah, if it's Orochimaru with, like, the first and second Hokage summons, even in their, like, nerfed part 1 state, and then also he has all his jutsu, and he has a fresh body, that's a different story, and I think they're more even. But if not, then, I mean, like, Kisame is still, he's a monster, right? Like, and I think there are stronger arguments for Kisame overall.
Je dois reconnaître que je ne m'attendais pas à ce qu'on aborde aussi vite des sujets aussi sérieux.
Je l'ai bien vu. Et je ne suis pas sûre que tu sois de taille à relever le défi.
Oh mais si. En fait, je suis là pour te raconter une autre histoire.
Une bonne cette fois, j'espère.
Oui, eh bien, tu disais que j'étais vaniteux.
Non, c'est toi qui l'as dit.
Est-ce que quelqu'un de vaniteux garderait cette cicatrice? Je pourrais la guérir, mais je ne préfère pas.
Ah, et pourquoi donc?
Parce qu'elle me rappelle sans cesse le prix que j'ai dû payer pour gagner mon indépendance. Mais ça m'a obligé à abandonner ceux à qui je tenais le plus. Voilà, sombre et personnel. Satisfaite?
Not much of a story, V.
J'ai l'impression que tu ne m'as pas tout dit.
Yeah.
Et j'imagine que ce n'est pas une coïncidence si Renoir a la même cicatrice.
Elle a raison. Rien ne t'échappe.
Did you say rien t'échappe?
Oui. On était en désaccord sur à peu près tout. La tactique à employer, les objectifs à atteindre. Je n'ai pas eu d'autre choix que de m'en aller, mais il ne l'a pas accepté.
Vous vous êtes battu?
C'était la première fois que ça nous arrivait.
Si tu es capable de te soigner, j'imagine que ça veut dire que Renoir aussi.
Yeah.
Et pourtant, il...
Je n'avais jamais vu les choses de cette façon. Mais tu as raison. Alors, c'est assez sombre et personnel pour toi?
Ça fera l'affaire, oui.
Assez pour mériter d'entendre l'histoire liée à cette cicatrice sur ton ventre?
Ooh, we're gonna find out about that finally?
Nous avons tous des cicatrices que nous préférons garder, n'est-ce pas?
C'est profond.
C'est surtout une histoire que je te raconterai.
Yeah, I figured that'll be the topic for the next one, right?
Tes cicatrices te vont bien, tu sais.
Don't.
Je sais, c'est la vraie raison pour laquelle je les garde.
Je m'en doutais.
I do think it's interesting. I've noticed that, like, there's this thing. Obviously I'm not on camera, so I can't like show it. But there's this animation in Baldur's Gate 3 that is sort of like the default character idle in conversation animation. And if you play the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like character steps to the right a little bit, begins to fold arms over chest, steps to the left, finishes folding arms over chest, then goes back to the right a little, and then back to the left. It's sort of like almost, I don't know, like something rocking back and forth in place and then finally settling down. And it plays like all the fucking time. And now whenever I see that in another game, I'm like haunted by it. It's like, oh, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and then it kind of like settles down. It's kind of cute, honestly, but yeah, that sort of idle animation is clearly something that is convenient for a lot of people. I will say, I want to say a couple things real quick, just by like way of analysis or commentary, or whatever you want to call it. I do kind of wish that some of these conversations were happening organically, like out on the road. It does feel like a bit of a homework assignment that you have all the characters just kind of like here waiting with their little prompts for you to come and just, go through the motions. It, I don't know, man. Like it kind of start to feel like a homework assignment. I wish that the game, I think something that they could improve on, like something I want to see in the sequel, is for these moments and character building interactions and stuff like that to happen, some of them in the middle of battles, some of them while you're on the road exploring, and then some of them here. And you can choose to opt into them or not. But like again, Baldur's Gate 3, it's unfair to compare to Baldur's Gate 3 because there's so much more like legacy to that series and all that. But it did unfortunately kind of set a bar for like party building and relationship building and stuff like that. Not that it's flawless or anything, but like I find this to sometimes be a little bit perfunctory. You're kind of getting a lot all at once. So I do wish that I hope that they explore that in the future and expand on it a little bit more in the future. That's all. And also that like you basically, the game creates more incentives for you to go back to camp. Like again, Baldur's Gate 3 has this healing system where if you only get like a few full heals and then you have to kind of go back to camp to replenish your healing, as opposed to like you can replenish your healing via a bonfire, quote unquote, like the expedition flags in this game. So if the game created some kind of reason to shove you back to camp every once in a while, then you were, I think we've only been back to camp like 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times over the course of this entire like 35 hours so far. So really, it should be kind of nudging you back to camp, I think, every 3 to 4 hours at most. And every time you come back to camp, there should be like 2 or 3 things to do. Like you should come to the fireplace, and if a character is here, then they maybe have like a couple lines of idle dialogue. But if they're not, then it's like, oh, they're off doing something. And maybe one time, like Maya will be over there talking to whatever his name is, the cook. One time she'll be over here, kind of like kicking her feet in the air, like contemplating stuff. Just give the characters more to do and don't make them feel like dialogue dispensers. But I think it was kind of suggested that that's what they were going to do in the mansion anyway, right? Like, it's more of a question of resources and stuff like that than it was of intention, or like they didn't think of it. Like, I'm sure they thought of it.
T'as affronté les accents?
Good answer.
Évidemment.
Yes, see, so if she was alone by the lake, I would much rather have like discovered her there myself and had the option to opt into the conversation organically, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's not a huge deal. It's just like I hope that they continue exploring this in the future. Healthy Kimimaro versus Happy Sasuke. I'm gonna give it to Kimimaro. I mean, like, we could debate this for sure, but I think, he was just like narratively implied to be much more of a threat than the other 4 sound ninjas, and in addition to that, the he was able to handle like a pissed off Naruto and then drunken boxing Gaara, which I'm guessing, not Gaara, excuse me, Ali, which I think he had his weights off too, although I'm not 100% sure. And then, in addition to that, dealt with Gaara, and if he were like healthy, would have like dealt with all 3 of them, right? So I don't think that Sasuke really stood a chance, but I mean, it's debatable. That's a debate that I would actually like enjoy listening to.
Comment c'était, ta jeunesse à lumière?
Mis à part le fait que j'étais une orpheline triste et solitaire, c'était super. Même si, à proprement parler, tout le monde à Lumière est orphelin.
Quel âge avais-tu quand tes parents sont décédés?
Environ 3 ans, je dirais. Oui.
No, her hair is getting a little bit grayer, isn't it? Or is that just a light?
J'ai été une surprise malvenue. Mes parents ne voulaient pas d'enfants. Et surtout pas juste avant leur gommage.
Oh, damn.
Ça a dû être terrible en effet, pour toi comme pour eux.
Ouais. Et puis, ils sont morts. Et je me suis retrouvée ballottée de famille en famille. Je me rappelle même pas de toutes. J'étais...
Oh, sorry.
Moi aussi.
Ah bon?
Oui. J'étais obsédé par mon piano et ma palette de peinture.
Mm-hmm.
Je crois bien que j'étais une enfant un peu plus difficile que ça. Je faisais tout le temps des cauchemars et je parlais toute seule. Oh, et j'arrêtais pas de fuguer aussi.
Ah, c'est ça que tu appelles un comportement étrange. C'est plutôt courant au contraire, non? En fait, je crois qu'on est tous des enfants étranges aux yeux de quelqu'un.
Moi, c'était aux yeux de tout le monde.
Même de Gustave.
Plus ou moins seulement. C'est pour ça que sa sœur et lui ont fini par s'occuper de moi. Personne d'autre ne voulait de moi. Mais je crois bien que Gustave et Emma étaient un peu bizarres eux aussi. C'est sans doute pour ça qu'ils m'aimaient.
Ah, tu vois? Quand je te dis qu'on est tous étranges à un moment ou un
Yeah,
autre.
weird kid representation. I like this. For very personal reasons.
Qu'est-ce que tu faisais à Lumière? Ciel était fermière, Lune chercheuse et Gustave ingénieur. Et toi?
Personne ne voulait de moi comme apprenti. Alors, j'ai fini par être chargée d'effectuer des livraisons pour les entrepôts. Mais finalement, c'était pas si mal que ça. Ça m'a permis de connaître la ville
yeah.
comme ma poche.
Oh, that's nice. So
Je
I
suis imbattable à ce petit jeu.
I like the fact that we're getting some more context for like why she was running around on the rooftops. Like that's such a we only spent like 10 minutes doing that with her early on, so it would have been very easy for the devs to just kind of gloss over that and forget about it. But no, like this little bit of dialogue here way at the end, or not at the end, excuse me, like way many hours later anyways, what I meant to say is giving us more context for that early part of her character. I love that shit. That was really, really clever, whoever put that in the script.
Ah oui? Et quel est ton endroit préféré?
Les jardins suspendus.
Mm-hmm.
J'y allais tout le temps avec Gustave.
Whoa, her hair is... The lighting on her hair on the right... left side of her face, but right from our perspective, is glitching out a little bit.
Lumière te manque?
Oh no, there are totally, like, white strands of hair. Like, strands of white in her hair.
Pas juste la ville elle-même, mais tout le reste. Les festivals, les jardins, danser sur le port à la nuit tombée. Avant tout ça. Mais la lumière que j'ai connue a disparu. Et tous les gens qui y habitaient à l'époque aussi.
Maintenant, tu nous as, nous?
C'est vrai. Et vous m'avez.
This still feels too abrupt.
Alors, ça te dirait de danser jusqu'au bout de la nuit?
Please do not.
Tu devrais peut-être demander à Ciel.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, okay. Alright, we gotta do one more. Ryoman says, I say Kimimaro. Yeah, I think I'm with you there. Kimimaro would be my first pick. The thing is, I don't actually remember any of his Edo feats. He shows up with the same squad as, like, Chiyo, right? And he fights against... I don't even remember. He fights against KCM Naruto, I guess? But that's one of the instances where I think, like, he probably receives a net benefit from being a Edo Tensei. Like, I don't think he'd be limited by, like, his physical sickness. So he'd probably be as strong as he was when he was alive, but, like, unhampered by, like, able to move his body physically in addition to just, like, mentally, if that makes sense. But I'm not sure because Nagato was still physically held back, so I guess it depends on whether or not Kabuto messed with him at all.
Lune. Très bien. On parlera plus tard alors.
That's a little weird. Good talk. I like this. Good dialogue. Please tell me the whole conversation goes just like this. I want this so bad. Okay. I'm laughing because I've been on this date. I've had this exact fucking experience where you go to meet somebody, you're hanging out, you're both interested in each other, but then nobody knows what the fuck to say, and you just stand there, and you can see the little ellipses in the fucking thought bubbles over each other's heads, and then I was just like, I think what I said specifically was birds at one point. I was like, so do you like birds? And my fucking voice cracked like that. And then the rest of the evening somehow didn't fall apart. But yeah, I feel personally called out by this. Thanks, Sanful.
Tu aimes les chiens?
I like to think if I just leave the game running, like diegetically, I'm forcing these characters to just exist in this eternal awkward moment without escape.
Pardon?
Zarya says, my daughter, yes, yes. She has so many great emotional moments. Zarya says, it's really funny because this one point of dialogue is actually so important later for another character. Okay, interesting. I'll try to keep it in mind.
Tu aimes les chiens?
J'ai l'impression que tu as passé trop de temps seul. Tu as oublié comment engager la conversation.
Again, why does this game keep calling me out?
Juste l'impression que tu es du genre à préférer les chiens, c'est tout.
Eh bien, tu as raison. J'ai eu une chienne appelée Pat.
Oh, cute. I love it.
Sérieusement? Tu as baptisé votre chienne Pat? C'est un peu comme si mes parents m'avaient appelé Pied.
Wait, didn't Verso call fucking Esquier? Didn't he call Esquier mon pat before? Does that mean my paw as well?
C'est ma sœur qui a choisi son nom quand on était toute petite.
Hmm.
Stella. C'était une vraie artiste. Et elle avait un tempérament de feu. Elle a profité au maximum du temps qu'elle a eu.
Hmm.
Vous étiez proches?
Quand on était jeunes, sans doute. Mais mon frère et ma sœur avaient leur propre vie. Ils se moquaient royalement des recherches de mes parents.
Ça n'était pas très sympa de leur part.
Ne dis pas ça. Au moins, ils ont vécu leur vie et j'en suis heureuse. Sol était un super grand frère. Tu sais, c'est comme ça que j'ai rencontré Gustave. Sol sortait avec sa sœur.
So we have Lune and Sol. Interesting. And then we have Ciel as well. Some transparent names there.
Donc tu connaissais Gustave depuis longtemps?
Ça commence à faire beaucoup de questions personnelles, tu sais.
Oui, c'est vrai.
I'm also just now realizing, like, there's certain things as a player in games that you just kind of become acclimated to. Like, I became so used to seeing Gustav, you know, like our characters running around covered in blood and grime and shit when they're in the game world, that I totally spaced out and forgot. Like I just stopped noticing, my brain stopped processing the fact that this guy is caked in gore and bruises, and it looks like he's got like an open gash on his forehead, and he's just standing there awkwardly by the fire, probably reeking of guts and corpses, and just being like, you like dogs? Ignore the wounds, ignore the seeping wounds. You like dogs? It's so fucking great. I love video games.
D'accord. On peut reparler de moi si tu préfères.
Quelle magnanimité.
Vas-y, pose tes questions. Je suis sincère. Demande-moi ce que tu veux. On a toute la nuit devant nous.
Oh shit, sorry about that. I knocked something over.
Tant pis pour toi. Tu l'auras voulu. Tu aimes les singes?
Well, good job.
Oh, arrête.
I just imagine the rest of the conversation going like that. Do you like monkeys? No. Do you like horses? Yes. Do you like giraffes? No. Do you like hippos? No. Do you like turtles? Yes. Like, just going back and forth like that. I don't know what show it's from. I saw this clip on, I guess it was maybe from Frasier or something like that. It was a YouTube clip where there's these two business persons in an office, a dude and a lady, and one of them approaches the other and says, like, well, I'm a busy person, you're a busy person, we're both, business persons, we can work this out. Well, how do you feel about marriage? Well, let's see, how long were you thinking? Well, we think about a 6-month honeymoon, maybe, or a 6-month period of courtship, followed by 3 months of honeymooning and like being crazy about each other and puppy dog love, followed by like a discussion about kids, and then leading into that phase of the relationship. Okay, sounds good to me. Can we extend the honeymooning period by 1 month? Done. Okay, so how do you feel about kids? I want 3. How about 1? How about 2? Done. Settle on that, right? And so they just kind of like go through this transactional process of like specifying everything that they would want out of the relationship. Ultimately, it doesn't work out, but they scan each other essentially like two androids, identifying all of the, and I don't mean that pejoratively either, just like identifying all of the aspects of their character that they think will and won't work out with no pretense, and then they just make a decision there. This isn't going to work out. Goodbye. Right. So obviously that takes a lot of the humanity out of dating. I would never recommend it, but there was also something kind of charming about the fact that these two, a friend of mine uses the term neurospicy, which I have rather than neurodivergent, which I really, really enjoy. I'm going to use that term a lot more now. But these two neurospicy individuals like found their own love language and managed to interface about it, which is really cool. Okay. Ryomen asks, Sage mode Jiraiya versus the 4th Raikage. I'm going to say Jiraiya. I think that the standard pick, like that most people would pick, would probably be the 4th Raikage. And I don't know if I could win this debate. The thing is, like, I think probably the 4th Raikage, there's probably going to be some arguments that show that he's faster overall. But the reason why I prefer Sage Jiraiya is that the 4th is kind of a big dumb idiot, and he throws himself into, like, dangerous situations without any real regard for his own personal well-being. He doesn't really think tactically, and he's honestly like one of the biggest quote-unquote plot holes or like problems that I have with the war arc is making him in charge of the shinobi forces. That makes no fucking sense to me, especially given everything that he set up with his character previously. It was a really bad choice in my opinion. But anyway, I just don't think that like he would be able to deal with Jiraiya's arsenal of jutsu and tactics and stuff like that. Like on the one hand, personally, I think if Jiraiya uses like the toad oil and fire and stuff and tries to light the Raikage on fire, I don't think that's doing anything to him, right? I think he turns on his lightning cloak if it's not already on, and then he's just fine. But once Jiraiya like goes into Sage mode and starts, bringing out the this is cool. Bringing out Ma and Pa and, like, throwing out that auditory genjutsu and shit like that. I mean, like, what is he going to do against the auditory genjutsu? What is he going to do against, like, the swamp technique and stuff like that? I don't, could he box Gamabunta and, like, get rid of him? Sure, but can he deal with Jiraiya's full arsenal of jutsu? I don't know. That seems pretty tenuous. But again, like, it's one of those things where I don't think I could really win a debate about it just now. Okay, I think, you know what? Shit, I should have thought that out better. Ah, fuck. Okay, whatever. I think putting all those points into agility was just not optimal for her. I think everybody needs, like, a baseline attack power that's a bit higher than that. I think 30 is fine. Okay, and then that's probably fine too. I'm gonna try that and see if that helps anything. What about you, my friend? Agility. Let's see. So your defense sucks. You've been dying way too soon. Get some vitality. I want you to get up to 40. There we go. Pretty good. Honestly, more luck for her would probably be good because getting more crits on her would be insane. And as for you, you're not really doing a whole lot of damage. So, yeah, let's just up that. And CL, might is at 50, yeah. So, I guess, yeah, so now we should start putting more points into this. Okay, so let's do this. Get this up to 25. Let's get this up to 40. Just at 50 before. Let's get this up to like 10 or 15, I think it was. And then defense should be at like 20. And then luck should be like, yeah, 14. That's fine. Or even we can do this. That makes sense. Because I think she has a lot of damage already. She needs more defense to deal with, yeah. That's going to be important. And then we can kind of, or maybe we can even do like this. But these, how much do I get from this? Yeah, I get 1 point. Okay. So something like that, right? Then she's got a lot of, she's still got a lot of damage, like a lot of damage. But she also has more defense spread overall. And that might help mitigate some of that extra damage from that weapon. Okay. I've already spent so much time in menus and stuff. I don't really want to waste too much time. I want to get back to the main adventure here, so I will leave this alone for now. She has some higher level skills that I want to save up for anyway. You're collecting still. Okay, yeah, let's just leave all that stuff alone from now. While I'm here, before I get back into the chat conversation, I do want to make sure I actually changed their weapons out. So yeah, Chatillon for you. And for you, I think I was going to go with Scaverim was a dark stain. This was the healing stain. I think we're going to go back to Lighter In, but I wasn't sure. Right, so Gustav I wanted to experiment with, and I wanted to see how Galteram was and how Danseso was. So let's try Galteram and see how well that works out. So in that case, we probably do want to take Monaco. We probably want to take Ciel out for now. That if we're doing any sort of serious fights, we want to bring her back in, but Monaco needs to collect legs, so that should work. Also, sorry, if you listen to the sounds of the whispering in the background here, you can kind of hear some of that panning stuff we were talking about like 2 streams ago. Ryoman says, oh, sorry. Ryoman says Jiraiya wins. Yep, I think so. Saria says Jiraiya is simply too experienced, too smooth, too slick with it, that he can simply beat anyone. I have sources that I won't share. It's okay. I understand. Your uncle works at Kishimoto, right? Ryoman says, well, he is stated above adult Naruto and Sasuke. Still loses to Tsunade and Orochimaru. Oh, man. That's, Tsunade I think you're going to find is a spicy take, but, I mean, he did say that, like, the one time he came close to death was because of Tsunade, so I think there's probably an argument there, yeah. And I do personally put Katsuyu over the other 2 summons.
Corinne, Expédition 34. On dirait que notre stratégie axée sur les éléments n'a pas payé. Qui eût cru que certains névrons étaient immunisés contre tous les éléments. Mais nous avons découvert tant de choses. Par exemple, je soupçonne qu'il existe un niveau de chroma caché au-delà de ce que les pictos nous permettent de manipuler. L'appel de la chroma ne cesse d'enfler, alors que nous nous rapprochons du monolithe, mais jusque-là, nous n'avons pas réussi à puiser dedans pour l'utiliser. Peut-être que l'idée de Gustave de convertir la chroma des pictos en... Comment dit-il déjà? En lumina. Si ça se trouve, ce n'est pas si stupide que ça.
Okay. So that's actually very helpful because I wasn't fully sure what exactly was happening with the Lumina converter, and if we were going to get an explanation that went into like how the leveling up system worked. I guess I kind of figured that the converter was responsible for our characters being able to level up at all, and that's why we were like able to make more progress than the previous expeditions, because our characters could gain levels, and that's something that previous characters couldn't do. Well, I guess my understanding, but that was wrong. It's good to have some clarification there.
Ah, génial.
This is cool. I wonder why they bothered giving us the, It's very interesting that they have these flying contraptions over here. I wonder what that's all about. And those, like, wispy kind of, are those birds? Are those, like, spirits or something? Very interesting that they gave us a warning about entering this place, but there doesn't really seem to be anything here to fight. So maybe we just gotta come back later? Or maybe there's, like, another entrance or something. I really love the whispers in the background. It's very creepy. You know, it reminds me a little bit of the whispering that you would hear in Dishonored when you would be using one of the outsider abilities. Now, I wonder if it's... I feel like that parts of this game are inspired, at least aesthetically, by that game. Yeah, there's also like a large enemy that we didn't fight before that had that weird kind of strange clay-like look to it. I have to figure out where he is. Oh yeah, so there's probably another entrance somewhere on here. I don't see anything over there. Oh, here, there's a friend. Oh wow, what are you? That's cool. Oh, shit, I finally forgot to actually hit the button. Okay, let's see how this goes. Alright, well, it's going about as well as I thought it would. Excellent. Deals medium single target physical damage 4 hits. Let's see how that goes. Oh right, that's the, it's flying, so obviously that won't work. Oopsie. La danse commence. Oh yeah, sprung, that's right. That makes sense. Okay, so... it's not a big deal, I guess, but I am kind of pissed at the... Yeah, so this is the first thing about the game that I actually, like, dislike. That's really cool. I'm very curious about what that Kolim does. But I'm also, like... It's kind of ridiculous to me that I played for hours without finding any upgrades for any weapons that I actually wanted to upgrade, right? And basically just, like, saving up and waiting for the opportunity to have the right things to upgrade some of my weapons. And then, like, finally feel like, okay, now I've, like, earned the right to be able to do this. I can now go back to the town or whatnot. And, can I break this? Yeah, there we go. I can go back to my camp and I can, ooh, nice. Increased break damage on critical hits, nice. So now I can finally go back to camp and I can upgrade my stuff, and this will be great. This is what I was waiting for. And then I get like a few levels on one weapon for one character, right? And then I'm done, and then I have to wait for hours and hours again to be able to do that. But then I come across 3 fucking mooks on a beach, and I just immediately get a new weapon, and 2 other weapons get leveled up significantly. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why? Why don't I have more control over my, like, weapon progression? It's so frustrating. Like, if I had missed that one little teeny random encounter, that gave me significantly more, like, overall power in my arsenal than all of the, like, super rare Lumina shit that I've been saving up and dumping into my stuff beforehand. It feels very unbalanced. I don't really get the point of that. It's not the end of the world or anything. It's not really making me think any less of the game overall. But it is just kind of like, I don't know, it's like a really weird vibe, you know what I mean? Single target damage pierces shields. Damage increase for each shield on the target. Okay, so I'm on, oh, casting skills, moves with wheels pointer. I'm on Almighty, so I guess everything will work. Let's try this. Huh. Oh, she's flying too. I like that combo though, that's awesome. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Alright, so he's still at Almighty, but now I have this shield piercing attack. Nice. But it didn't... Oh, it literally pierces them. It doesn't actually destroy the shield. Okay. And yeah, see again, like I got a new weapon here. Oh, that's a new weapon though. It's not the same. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, sorry. I think Sprung was the correct person. Got a ballet's foot. Good. Ballaro. Let's see what that does. The names of the weapons are so. Oh, I don't have any Pitos for them. I'm stupid. And the names of the weapons though are exceptional. I love them. So let's see. Reverse Bestial Wheel Order. Okay. Using an upgraded skill gives 1 AP to all other allies. That could be good. Taking damage resets the Bestial Wheel. Oh, well that's interesting. If you already have it on a position that you like, let yourself get hit, and then you can. Okay, that's actually pretty cool when you think about it. All right, so let's stay with that. That's the thing, though. Like, I had to get Pitos, but last time I tried to upgrade his skills. I don't know if I'm just missing something or if I don't have that ability yet, but I wasn't able to figure out how to do that. I guess we had a lot of shit to use here. A random buff deals low single target dark damage, can break agile mass for 20% of the target's break bar. High physical damage to all enemies. That might actually be good. Let's get rid of this heal for now. Or lamp storm. The medium physical. Oh yeah. Okay. So I gotta play with those things first. Okay. All right. This is fine. I just gotta make sure that I give him something in the Picto slots because otherwise he's just gonna fall very far behind. So, apply rush, revive, play immediately. No longer gain EP. No, fuck that. Apply rush for 3 turns on battle start. Sure, why not? And then for this, huh? Recover. Oh shit, that's a lot of health. Recover 25% on counterattack. Healing death. Yeah, let's try that. Give him some stuff to boost his stats a little bit. Okay. And I do have the new Zero. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I mean, that's the thing though, like, honestly, I should probably, like, level up Loon because she's falling behind, right? And right now, like, Mael is carrying anyway, so I'm now realizing the importance of having a party that's, like, more evenly leveled up. And if I get stuck on a difficult boss, I can switch the comp. Okay, this makes sense. Well, hi friend, who's over here? I am really enjoying the exploration, honestly. Like, it's been quite nice to kind of... Hello, well, I say that. Oh, I'm guessing this is... I have to have flight mode to come back here. Kinda sucks. I'm so close. Just get up on the... So this is one of those things too where it's like, unless I'm just being stupid and missing the way to get up, you know, just make the island floating or something. Like, don't put it this, like, there's no diegetic reason why SKA shouldn't be able to get up on this. So this feels like a bug. If they just made the platform like a few feet higher, then it wouldn't strike me as a bug. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you're kind of hurting my suspension of disbelief a little bit because I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to get there right now. If you want to have a platform there that I can't access until later, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But it just, this one isn't very convincing to me, if that makes sense. But again, it's like, whatever. At the end of the world. I hope SK becomes playable in combat with the Oh, there is going to be DLC? Oh my god, that would be awesome. I heard that they just, and yes, that would be cool to be able to play with him or as him. Heavy with Thunderous. But I'm not that heavy, come on. Should be able to get up there, right? But that looks amazing, by the way. But yeah, I heard that they recently just added some new free content. I don't know at what point we'll be seeing it, because I don't know how to recognize it, obviously, but I'm excited about that. And it's cool that they're still, like, updating it. Oh, is that... The Paintress is right there! Wow, okay. Could I just go fight her now? She's right there. I can even see her animating. Oh, it's because... Oh, there's another, like, portal into the painting realm. Okay, gotcha. Cool. Okay. Oh, we see all these flying machines that were in the crows as well. Can't fight this guy. I wonder if... Alright, what's that?
avril, les 40e rugissants. Gigi et Edmond étaient en tête. Ils descendaient en planant vers le monolithe quand ils ont percuté un genre de barrière qui les a gommés. Nos planeurs sont inutiles sans moyen de franchir cet obstacle.
Okay.
Bernard va explorer les environs à pied pour voir s'il n'y aurait pas une entrée. Et en attendant, autant nous installer confortablement. On risque d'en avoir pour un moment. Je crois bien que je vais m'essayer à la pêche. Il n'y a plus qu'à espérer que ces névrons marins nous aient laissé quelques poissons. Reposez en paix, Gigi et Edmond.
That makes sense. Okay. I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of a barrier there, right? And I'm not going to be able to go. How freaky would it be if we tried to, like, go in there and we just, like, all of us got gommaged immediately? Oh, shit.
Ça ressemble au dôme bouclier de lumière. Peut-être qu'on peut le traverser?
Bah voyons. Je vous l'avais dit, c'est impossible. Les accents d'abord. T'inquiète, ça va aller. Tu veux réessayer?
Non, c'est bon.
Cute.
D'accord.
I'm glad that they had like an actual cutscene for that as opposed to just something that popped up and said, "You must go complete thing before coming here." Although it does feel very weird to me that none of them are like, "Hey, there's the paintress. Check her out. We're so close. We can see her." Maybe like Mael. I kind of feel like maybe Mael should be like grabbing a rock and like throwing it or something. I don't know. Maybe that'll come up later. But you see, like that's what I was saying about the camp system, because if we camp here, it's probably going to tell it, like if I press the camp button here, I'm betting it's going to show the camp as if we were further away, because I think that it's just like the one camp scene, you know what I mean? And I would be, maybe I should just test this, but I would be very surprised if they have any like unique or bespoke dialogue for them camping this close. But they definitely should, right? Hey, look at that, like she's right there. It's so cool. She definitely looks like she's crying. Like I want to know about this character. I'm so intrigued. And we're so fucking close. I actually kind of like that a lot, actually. I like the fact that they're not just keeping her like locked in a vault somewhere or a total mystery. You know, it's not like a total mystery box thing. Like we can see her, she's right there. Honestly, kind of increases the allure of the mystery, which is counterintuitive. Like usually like people take the approach of hiding the thing, increasing the mystery, but no, this time showing it actually makes it more so. No. I hope they like mark those on the map, because I'm never gonna fucking remember where any of that shit is. Oh, there's the entrance to the painting area. I see. Okay. Painting factory. Need chroma. Yes. Much more chroma. For some reason I thought that that area there with all the rings was somewhere we'd have to go sooner than not, but anyway. Yeah, so I just want to take a look real quick around here to see if there's any other side stuff before we go right into the gauntlet. Oh, this is really interesting. Now that we know, oh, these are the airships, right? Yeah, cool. The environmental storytelling continues to be on point. I think, oh yeah, that's the area before that we were in. Let's just take a look at the map. I'm very like I'm very meticulous about like checking the fucking map. I think this is where we came out, probably because I have like no sense of direction anymore. Rioman asks, who wins in a debate, Noodles versus Six, both at full power? That's an interesting question. I don't know. So I've listened to 2 debates between Noodles and Six, and in my opinion, Six won both of them. But like overall, but the first one, 6 actually wound up conceding. And the second one was such a fucking joke that I would almost say it's hard to even say that anybody won because it was just a meme. I can get into more detail if you want, but basically, like, I would say 6 based on track record, but the circumstances surrounding the track record, so to speak, are quite strange. The thing is, I don't think Noodles really knows what he's talking about most of the time, and most of the time he overcompensates for that by relying heavily, if not exclusively, on tactics rather than knowledge. And the thing is, I know that 6 knows the series very well, and I know that he has a lot of access to references, and he's made some really good like analysis overall over the years, but for some reason when he comes to debating, he sometimes seems to just like forget that. It's weird, like debate 6 and 6 who is debating himself and 6 who is helping somebody else debate are very different, right? Like 6 for some reason seems to be so much better at like finding resources and evidence and information for other people in a debate, like when he's helping Swag or whatever, than he is on his own. And I don't really know why that is, but I guess you could just say that his focus is more on the overall series knowledge and less on the debate tactics side of things. So I think as much as everything Noodles would be saying would be incredibly silly, probably in terms of just winning the debate itself, like convincing judges that you were winning, Noodles probably has the edge. And also in terms of convincing your opposition that you won, Noodles has the edge there as well. But it really depends. It depends on, like, is he going to actually, like, make any kind of solid arguments like he used to do, or is he just going to do these weird, like, pseudo philosophical meme arguments that he has been doing recently? If he actually, like, sticks to real argumentation, then I think he has a good shot. If he tries this meme bullshit like the debate that he had with 6 recently, and then with Shad and Troy, like, they all saw through it immediately, including 6. They weren't, like, impressed. They weren't thrown off their game by it. 6's only mistake in that entire conversation was just giving Noodles a benefit of the doubt at all and trying to engage him in a conversation like a human being for any amount of time, because Noodles was not ever talking to him, he was only talking at him. So yeah, there was nothing to win there because Noodles wasn't even really talking to him. He was just waiting for his cue to say his shit, and then he left. He literally left mid-debate once he was done saying what he thought was gonna get him the win. So that's not a debate, that's just trolling. Anyway, heating up. Oh wow, I never seen him do it like that before. Let's see. Is that gonna accomplish anything at all? Oh, it is weak against ice. Oh, cool, okay. I like the stance switching stuff. Applies defenseless. Is that gonna help me at all? Maybe. Okay. So what is his gradient attack actually? High dark damage, 2 hits, deals double damage if the target is stunned. Goes to Almighty Mass, which I'm already at, but okay. Yeah, that was stupid. I should have done this first. That was really weird. Oh, I see. I wasn't sure why I missed the attacks, but that makes sense. And now I just got like 4 fucking level ups to one. Jesus Christ. Okay. See what I mean about the leveling up thing? It's so weird. I almost feel like, what's the point of leveling stuff up on my own? Anyway, Lampstorm. Yeah, I gotta find that guy and do the Lampstorm battle. Okay, hang on. So she has a new fire weapon. That's good news. Let's see. Is it gonna be better than Metalloom? I don't think so, but let's see. Hotloom. Double gradient generation while in defensive stance. Okay, that's cute. Staloom. Apply burn on self on turn start. 10% increased damage reach. Ooh, interesting. Okay. See, that's actually really cool, but thanks, I'm all set. Like, I'm sure that some speedrunner out there who has, like, figured out how to min-max the game is like, no, that's the best thing in the game because you can stack it with this other thing that procs up a fire damage and blah, blah, blah. I'm a simple man. I see glowing purple sword. I see virtuous stance. That's all I need. So, sorry. Yeah, Ryoman, let me know what you think about my little analysis there. I'd be curious if you agree with that. I don't really want to, like, describe Noodles as winning debates because it's like, how can I say this? If somebody comes up to you when you're just like chilling at a public library or something and is like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And you're like, yeah, sure, what's up? And then they grab your hand and then they slap you in the face with it and say, hey, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. And then like you push them, right? And you say, get the fuck off me, stop that. And then that person turns around and points at you and says, hey, everybody, this guy's making noise in the library. Did you hear him? He made some noise in the library. Right over here, this guy, he's disturbing the peace. Look into my eyes and tell me the things they're blabbing about behind my back. This guy over here, right? And then fucking runs away. Did he win an argument with me? Did he win a debate? Like, I don't even know what the fuck happened. I don't know what the point of any of that was. I guess, yeah, if your victory condition was, okay, I'm going to go into this library and I'm going to make somebody look like an idiot, then if you think that that's what that means, then I guess cool. You got me to make a loud noise, and then you also made a loud noise and ran away like a jerk. So what's the point? Like, who won, right? So it really just depends on what your definition of winning is, I guess. Jordan Peterson versus Mike Guy in a debate. Mike Guy destroys. Jordan Peterson versus, like, this ant that I'm watching crawl into my corner to eat, like, I don't know, a stale piece of a Dorito or something that I dropped back there. The ant wins. The Dorito wins. The empty corner of the room wins. Okay, so, no, I will say, I don't think I can win a debate against Jordan Peterson. And I don't think that most people can. Because, for two main reasons. One, because Jordan Peterson is a debater, right? Like, he specifically, and I'll give this to Noodles too, right? Both of them specifically practice and hone their skills and work really hard to get, well, I'm assuming, to get good at trying to defeat people in verbal arguments. And they focus on tactics, they focus on setting traps and springing traps, they focus on stuff like that, on various forms of like trickery and intimidation to win debates from a competitive standpoint. Now notice that none of that has anything to do with like the intellectual honesty or the accuracy of the points that they're making. And they might be right about some things, they might be wrong about other things, but they do have skills that they have cultivated for debating in and of themselves. And so I learned very quickly when I tried debating folks that, having the correct knowledge on a given topic and being well informed and well intentioned really has not all that much to do with your ability to actually win a debate. And I'll say, like, straight up that especially if you have any amount of social anxiety, or if you just like kind of get intimidated by public speaking, or even just like by confrontation in general, my experience has been that even talking to Sage, who's a friendly and an affable guy, and like the disagreements that we've had have been pretty low-key for the most part. Like, if anything, I'm the spicier one in our engagements. I'm the one who's more critical. But like, even then, the conversations that I have via text or even in my head or whatever versus the conversations that I had with him in quote-unquote person online were very different, because I'm just not used to that kind of dynamic. I'm not used to that kind of exchange or competition, so to speak. So I think from what I've seen with like Peterson's debate with Matt Dillahunty as an example, that is a great debate to study if you just want to see like tactics versus knowledge on display. And it's really hard to get around the traps and the tactics and the stuff that Peterson keeps throwing out there if you actually want to connect with him, which Matt Dillahunty did seem to want to do. He seemed to genuinely want to understand his perspective and try to find some common ground, and that is really hard to do when the person is actively working against you to win the competition, as opposed to just evaluating the ideas together as a unit, right? And I can talk about that more if you want. I'm actually like pretty passionate about that subject. But yeah, so it comes down to, what is the win condition? What are you hoping to achieve in the debate? And can you actually connect with the other person and find common ground? That's really, really, really hard to do sometimes, depending on where the other person is coming from. And honestly, like, even if I don't know if I could win a debate on, like, climate change, right? I think climate change is pretty objectively verifiable. People who deny climate change are sorely mistaken. But if you put me on stage and said, okay, prove the climate change is real, go. Debate this guy who's a climate change denier, especially one who's, like, charismatic and debates all the time, I'd fucking lose, because I don't know how to get those ideas out in a way that people will, like, understand easily and, like, explain them well, and then point out the logical contradictions and stuff. And, like, I don't know how to, like, shoot down a Gish Gallop, because I don't fucking practice that, right? So I hope that answers your question. It's just, like, two very different skill sets. Oh shit, is this gonna be... This is one of those that is hard to hit. Okay. Oh shit, okay. Blight is a status effect that reduces the max health of the character. It is possible to be affected by multiple instances of Blight. Each instance reduces max health by 10%. Okay, I think I have a healing ability, right? Applies regen to all allies. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Ooh, nice. Okay. Let's see. I think this is going to be one of those things where I just have to... Yeah. That's fine. It was going to be more about survival. Oh, wait. Can I do fire damage? No, never mind. Oh, wait. Shit. She's inverted. She's going to take damage from the heal. I forgot about that shit. I have to... Oh, what? It ended? I'm confused. Wow, I'm really, really bad at parrying that shit. Oh my god. Okay, let's see. I think we just keep firing... Oh, damn, okay. It does actually have a weakness. Is it here? Does that matter? Okay, she's weak to dark. So... I think we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do Healing Tint. Now she's inverted, so that would just kill her, so I'm going to do it on you. And just play it safe here. Okay. It's really hard to see the projectile, so I kind of have to use the audio cues as my primary source. That's okay. So that's actually doing quite a bit of damage. Can I not spam? I gotta take my time. Fire the shots right at her head. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do this and just give myself more energy for more of that next time. And dark projectiles, let's see. Damn it, that's so hard to judge correctly. It's okay though, I'm getting there. I think the regen is gonna... Oh no, she got out of inverted. That's great. Here we go. Nice. Okay, the concentration paid off finally. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not very effective, but still something done. Okay. Let's see. Is she actually out of inverted? Yeah, okay. So I'll just do that to be safe. And now should be able to do it this turn or maybe next turn. Is this the weak spot? I never remember. Okay, I'm just experimenting to see if I can find the weak spot. But I guess I'm just going to rely on crits for now. That's fine. She's almost done. We can do this. Oh shit. That was terrible. Oh my god. I'm embarrassed. Okay, see if I can do this. Wow, that was really bad. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep reviving. Figure out how to parry those attacks, I'll be in a better spot. Okay, now let's see. Items, revive shard, revive tint rather. Okay, which is powerful. That's right. Okay. I do kind of wish it ended the attack animations, because it is a little silly to, like, ended the attack animations if one of my characters dies, because it is kind of silly to just see the cultist, like, swing in there into midair. That was a, like, extreme aura finisher there from Loon. Rioman says, Peterson's studying debating his entire life just to lose to Mankind. I mean, for sure. Like, the springtime of Jordan Peterson's youth has long since been eclipsed, right? So, like, if it's just youth and vitality on display, like Mike Eye Wings, negative, as you said. Saria says, my current playthrough of Clair Obscur, my team is also Mael and Ciel, because they basically use this to make Mael God. Yes, I love that. I feel like Jordan Peterson, says Rioman, is the type of guy to get destroyed by James Sunderland in a morality debate. Yeah, I'm with you there. So here's the thing, like, the weird sort of internal conflict that I have about JBP is that on the one hand, if you read the comments on some of his videos and debates and stuff, there seems to be a lot of people who genuinely feel like he, at least in the past, I think he's kind of fallen off these days, but like at least in the past, genuinely felt like he helped them to get their lives together and to do better overall and to, I don't know, organize their shit, whatever it is. Like, they felt some kind of healing in his advice. And when I talk to people about him, a lot of times I've heard people say, hey, even if you disagree with his politics, like, take a look at his life advice stuff, because it's just genuinely great. Now, I didn't find anything in there that was personally very, I love this. This is like a submarine or something. I love this thing. I personally didn't find anything in there that was too, I am going to go back and get that journal, by the way. I'm just exploring. That was too inspiring or life-changing or anything like that. But I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, give them some credit that they were resonating with him for some kind of a reason. But yeah, when it actually comes to his politics, I mean, he, maybe not ironically, kind of has the same problem that Noodles does when you listen to their stuff, in that he comes across ideas. He takes the ideas out of context and he says, wow, look at this idea on its own. It's very, very, very interesting, isn't it? Now let me apply my own interpretation to it. Isn't that interesting? I really like that. Therefore, it's true. And therefore, if somebody else tries to come along and correct me or say that there's something wrong with it, well, I can just say, like, well, what you don't understand is that it's true to me, which means it is true by a certain definition, which means it is true. Therefore, it's true. Like, he's really, really brilliant, actually, and really, really good at making connections between disparate things and, like, seeing patterns and things and seeing archetypes that kind of get repeated mimetically throughout history. But then he draws these wild, fucking crazy conclusions about them, and then he submits them as truth because he sees those connections and then thinks that seeing the connections somehow validates them. And then he runs with that and creates this weird, distorted narrative and distorted perception of the world that he then is unwilling to engage with in any sort of, like, fair and empirically justified way. And he promotes these, like, incredibly toxic ideas and beliefs that are just really regressive, have literally led to people's deaths and, harmful, like, hateful things being propagated. And just keeps doing it because, like, whatever. He's part of this. He sees himself as part of this, like, crusade, some kind of a fucking martyr. And he's not willing to get his head out of his own ass long enough to actually examine whether what he's saying is correct. So fuck him.
Sabine. Ce maudit serpent a détruit tous nos sous-marins en l'espace de quelques instants. Et nous voilà désormais coincés sans équipement, sans nourriture, sans eau, sans rien. Et plus aucun moyen de quitter cette île ou de tuer cette putain de bestiole. Ah ça, la peintresse doit bien se marrer. Quand je pense que la totalité des ressources du service d'ingénierie et de défense ont été englouties dans la construction de ces sous-marins. Sans même parler des gens qui nous ont fait confiance et se sont portés volontaires pour nous aider. Si jamais on finit par crever sur cette île minuscule, après tout ce qu'on a fait pour arriver là, je jure que mon fantôme hantera le monolithe de cette salope. Cette putain d'île et ce serpent à la con jusqu'à la fin des temps. Fais chier!
I love it. God, they're some of the best audio logs that I've heard in games. They're so, like, full of passion and intrigue so much of the time. Yeah, that's the thing, and, like, I genuinely am wondering, because I know Noodles is in Jordan Peterson's Discord, or at least a Discord with a Jordan Peterson logo. At any rate, I when I think of some of those tactics that I've heard in the JBP debates, I feel like I've heard the same thing, like Noodles doing the same exact thing. So I wonder if he, like, tried to learn from those tactics. I have no idea, really. It just kind of seems similar to me. But, like, yeah, I was listening to his debate with Apollo, and I feel like some of this stuff came up, right? It's like, define true, like, like you were saying, Sario. His debate with, like, fucking Matt Dillahunty, they brought up the topic of, like, Matt Dillahunty suggested, like, it's not in your best interest to have your head cut off, and then Jordan Peterson was like, prove that. So it's like, I mean, like, yeah, on the one hand, when you start talking about shit like morality and whether there can be an objective sense of morality or whatnot, whether there's an objective concept of things being right for you or good for you or whatnot, it is, you know, worth asking, well, is there any such thing as true inherent right for you-ness? And if so, like, how do we figure out what that is? It's an interesting topic. It can be an interesting thing to discuss. But then, I think we've been here before, yeah? Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, like, hey, if I get shot with this fucking howitzer round in my face, I will die. Well, define death. Well, it means that I will no longer be living. But will you not still be alive in the memories of those who cherish you and who value you? I guess so. Okay, well then you'll still be alive, right? Yeah, so then you're immortal, right? As long as other people, like, believe in you and love you, you're immortal, and the howitzer won't kill you because you'll still technically be alive, so you won't you won't be dead. So you can tank a howitzer around to the face, literally, like verbatim stated. You just said it in your own words. You just made that positive claim. Like, wait, what the fuck is even happening anymore? What are you talking about, right? Like, I've heard Jordan Peterson do that shit on stage, and I've heard Noodles do the same exact shit in debates with, like, Yukito's fucking Bijou Bomb versus her Fireball, or whatever else. It's fucking bizarre now that I think of it. Okay, 1 second. I gotta swap things around a little bit over here. See if we're any better at dealing with this guy over here. Sprung. It's time for Sprung. So, I have no idea if I'll be anywhere closer to being able to deal with this guy. No. Not at all. Oh my god. Yup. It's just, that's not fucking happening, huh? I am kind of curious. It said stage 1, stage 2. I wonder if I survive a few of the stages, if he gets weaker or something. So, send in reserve team. Now, I'm going to try it like 1 or 2 more times, but I don't think there's anything I can do here. I'm guessing I need some major power up. But yeah, I like your strategy of having Mael nuke the whole world. Can Shikamaru defeat Darkness Devil? I don't know. I'm not far enough in Chainsaw Man to be able to tell that, unfortunately. Oh, nice. Okay, I mean, that did something. Okay, that did something as well. I mean, not much, but it is something. Okay. I feel like maybe if I just, like, go through the stages, then maybe I'll get somewhere. Because he can't, like, do this the entire time, right? Okay. I mean, like, I say that, but I don't fucking know. It's pretty intense. Oh, I gotta go back and fight Goldraw, whatever her name is, too. Oh no, he's just going through the whole... through all the motions. Okay, I want to try a couple more times, although I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere. It's kind of a fun fight. So no, I don't know if he can, but I mean, like... I don't know if Shikamaru could defeat the, like, Chainsaw Devil, Chainsaw Man that we see in, just in, like, the first season of the anime. It's possible, but, like... Shikamaru doesn't have great AP, and if we like take the version of Shikamaru that defeats Hidan, I think with prep and planning and like setting a trap, he could definitely like fuck Denji up. But at the same time, like Denji's survivability is, you know, like comparable in some ways to Hidan's, and his AP I think is superior to Hidan's, despite the lack of the ritual. So I would have my money on Denji. But, I mean, not sure. Top 3 Shadow users. Yeah, I'm wish I could give you a better assessment of the Darkness Devil, but I'm not that far in the series yet. Or at least I don't remember that character. Yeah, there we go. Not bad. It's an interesting, interesting question for sure. Shit, I forgot about that last one. For those who sprung after, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's not totally useless. Okay. I'm genuinely curious to see if I master these parries, if I'll be able to, like, accomplish anything with him. Or if I really just do need to come back with better stats. Probably not, because look at that shit. Like, I'm doing nothing. Okay, but I want to try one more time. Is there, like, a weak spot that, like... Shit, too early. Oh well. Yeah, let me try that one more time. Because I'm curious to see if I can do anything. But I'm probably... I'm probably not going anywhere. Denji isn't top 15 in Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I mean, like... I've heard people... See, this is the thing. Like, I want to know more about the, like, power scaling of that universe. But I also just need to kind of, like, get into the series gradually, you know what I mean? Because right now, all I've seen is the first season of the anime. I'm very excited about the movie or whatnot that's coming out, though. Should be good. But, I mean, like, apparently... Makima is supposed to be like some kind of crazy beast, right? Shit. Just in terms of her overall power. Yeah, that was not bad. I feel like actually if I don't know if you guys want to do this like all night or whatever, but I feel like I could potentially actually beat this guy if I learn those combos. It's not like insane. I just have to learn the timing. Yeah, so like that wasn't crazy hard. That was 20,000, but this is gonna take hours, like especially if I mess it up. That's the thing. If only fire were like percentage based. Oh, come on, yeah, I'm not gonna do this now, because if I fuck it up once, then it's gonna be like 20 to 30 minutes wasted. So no, I'm gonna come back to this guy later. Yeah, sprung stream. Yeah, sure. I'll do like a level 1 sprung only run. Oh, you know, there's this guy called Challenger Andy who did a run of Dark Souls 1 where he replaced every enemy with Gwyn. Just do that. I'll do a run of this game where I replace every enemy with Sprung. Realman says, I think Makima has the best win conditions against everyone else in the verse, pretty much. Interesting. What would you say, how high would you say Makima scales into the Naruto verse? Do you think that she could take out, like, Kaguya? I think we've been there before. Right, it will show up on the map, so yeah, okay. So let's go after the less reasonable of the two options for the Axons. It'd be cool if we could do one of the Axon fights tonight. Rioman says other high tiers are Yoru, Pochita. Oh, Pochita, yeah. Darkness Devil, Aging Devil, Falling Devil, Death Devil, Santa Claus, Gun Devil. I had like a Santa Claus. I was reading Devil, Old Saint Nicholas, Devil. I'm actually like really intrigued to know what the fuck is going on with that. Yeah, I almost had a slightly cringe moment, but whatever. The other day, my partner and I were out at a public place, and we were shopping, and there was somebody who had a Pochita, like a plushie or something that was about the size of a large cat. Like, it was a big one that she was carrying around with her, like the size of like a Boston Terrier or something, you know. And my partner didn't recognize it, so she was like, what is that thing? I didn't expect to say that there. And I just like kind of like squealed like a fangirl, and I was like, Pochita, like really loudly. Everybody turned around. It's like, it's that kid over there who just left. You're not buying it, huh? So, you know, I don't know. I really like that little character. God, that thing is so fucking creepy. I also gotta find the place where that enemy that was just like the giant mask on little legs. Oh wow, you can actually get a great look at the paintress herself from here. She definitely looks like she's weeping. Wow. And her legs are all kind of cracked and fucked up like the curators were. Okay. Alright, let's see what this area has in store for us. Yagami says, I don't like Crossverse too much, but I can argue her being top 1 in Naruto hypothetically interesting. Yeah, I remember seeing that scene where she's like sacrificing people from on top of the temple, and like despite all of the strength that Naruto has, like I don't know how he's dealing with that, you know what I mean? Like, how are characters perceiving that kind of an attack and dealing with it? Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to leave Sprung alone for a moment.
Ce genre d'endroit n'existait pas avant la fracture.
C'est magnifique. Ça a l'air presque irréel.
Cool. Nice detail. Yeah, are you a big Sprung stan, Saria? I'm sorry to unsprungify the stream. Whoa, my god, that's beautiful. Whoa, what's happening down there? Oh, fucking cool. How do they keep doing this? It's gotta be illegal, man. Like, they gotta be breaking some kind of regulations. It's not, you can't have this many uniquely beautiful things in one video game. It's not, you're not allowed to. You're just making everybody else look bad. You know, I'm announcing a game that my team is revealing a game that we've been working on for a while in a couple of weeks. Like, how are we supposed to put out games when there are games like this already out there? What are we supposed to do? Excuse me. I have some questions, Sandfall. Can you fucking stop, please? Hello.
Est-ce que c'est elle, l'accent?
Whoa.
Sirène, la maîtresse
passe?
Je ne sais pas.
Elle est en train de manipuler vos émotions. Vous devez rester concentré. N'oubliez pas pourquoi vous êtes là. Méfiez-vous. On l'appelle la maîtresse des merveilles. Mais ce qu'elle fait réellement, c'est entrer dans vos têtes.
Ne traînons pas. Sinon on deviendra tous fous.
So I find that like very, very compelling and interesting for kind of a personal reason that I might have revealed before, but I think I'll mention it again. So like to me, reality matters a lot. Like believing in things that I think are true and real is important. And you know, despite the fact that it's caused some friction in the past and like seriously impacted one of my relationships in the past, I am an atheist. I don't believe in any like supernatural stuff. And it's important to me to make sure that my perspective on that is accurate. So I put a lot of time and thought into it. But at the same time, I admit that if somebody came to me and was like, "Hey, so we could put you in the Matrix, basically. Like you can make a decision right now that your body will go into something like the Matrix, and your consciousness will spend the rest of its life in bliss. You will never know that you were there. You won't remember what happened before. Like, obviously, I'm not going to abandon my family or anything like that ever. But at the same time, if I was on my own, I would have to seriously think about that, right? Like, even though I knew that the decision I was going to make was going to sacrifice my free will, knowing that it would be like a basically utopia, and I would spend my life genuinely believing that, there would be a challenge. I'd have to wrestle with that personally, right? So coming on this scene and having these characters be, you know, having this moment of like bliss and joy, like it's entirely possible, maybe even probable, that the seduction or whatever that they were getting put under is harmful. But it's also kind of tempting to look at these characters and say like, well, they're just dancing, right? They're not like actively hurting anybody, and this is joyful, this is a pleasant experience, we're dancing, we're kind of letting go. Like, would it be so bad to spend our final moments doing this, right? And then they have to make this choice, like, okay, am I going to stay in the brutal, harsh reality and try and make it better for the people who come next, or am I going to make a selfish decision and choose to give way to this pleasure? And I don't know, like, oh, hi, friend. It does raise this kind of interesting question of how much is anybody individually required to sacrifice for the greater good, you know? Like I maybe missed a cue over here or something. There's this really, you know, my mom and I, and also my partner and I to an extent, used to watch this show called House MD. I'm sure pretty much everybody already knows about House, right? But there's this one episode where there's a cancer researcher, and she was, I love this thing, it's such a cool idea for an elevator. There was a cancer researcher, and the researcher was like, I don't know, whatever it was, 95% of the way towards probably finding a cure for this particular type of cancer, and or similar disease of that nature. And if she had just finished, like, spent...
Ne la regardez pas trop longtemps ou vous perdrez la raison.
Oh
J'ai
shit.
vu des gens sauter d'une falaise pour l'avoir trop longtemps contemplée.
C'est vrai qu'elle est captivante.
Cette danse me rappelle quelque chose. On ne l'apprend pas à Lumière?
Je ne crois pas, non. Je n'ai jamais vu ça.
I also love that they're doing something really, really cool with the music. So the music is composed of two different things. It's like the singing of the creature, of the sirène in the background, and then also like the background ambient track, it sounds like. And they're in sync with one another, but they're keeping the background ambient track in 2D, meaning that it's not like coming from a positional source like a speaker or a person or whatever, but they're keeping her stuff coming from her. And that's actually pretty easy to do in modern audio software. They're using an audio software called Wise, I think, and it's the same software that I use or have used on a variety of projects over the years. And it's really easy to do with that nowadays, but traditionally it's kind of difficult because it's not hard to play multiple in-sync audio sources simultaneously necessarily, but if you're mixing the positions of them, like one is positional and one is non-positional, then it can get kind of funky depending on your engine. So, but it's really, really cool because it mixes diegetic and non-diegetic stuff in a way that feels very immersive, but also like very surprising, like almost unnerving in a way. So yeah, what should I do with you? Do that. So yeah, I really, really like it. Ryoman says Makima can control whoever she perceives as inferior to her and has like 50 different hacks. Oh, so it's interesting. So it's like based on her like emotional and cognitive state? Like can she fake that? If she's fighting Madara and she doesn't think that Madara is inferior to her, like she actually thinks that Madara is superior, but then she wouldn't be able to beat him. But then if she learns something about him and she's like, oh, now I realize that he's a piece of shit or whatever, then she can beat him? Is she like mentally amping or nerfing herself in that way? That'd be kind of cool, actually. I'm gonna save the skill stuff, I think, or what do you have? Very high single target lightning damage, critical hits trigger initial hit, greatly increased damage. That could work. Be actually really nice. Oh wait, hang on a minute. Deals increasingly high fire damage to all enemies every turn until Loon receives damage. Stun self if interrupted. Could be good. Or crippling tsunami deals immune ice damage to all enemies one hit. Applies slow, consumes for greatly increased damage. Okay. Well, I don't want to get too into the nitty gritty with this right now. You have 3. What other skills do you have? Oh, yeah, I wanted to save up for some of the bigger ones. Okay. And for you, you have 10. Okay, excellent. So let's see what new things we have for her. Sword Ballet deals extreme single target damage, 5 hits, uses weapons element, critical hits deal double damage. I think I'm probably going to want that, but let's see. Over here, deals medium single target physical damage, 2 hits, consumes burn, I don't want to consume burn, high single target fire damage, 1 hit, damage increase for each hit received, that's fine, and then Paralyzed does extreme target fire damage, 3 hits, 5 burn per hit. Yeah, that's another one of those ones I think I want, but I would need to do a whole lot more to get there, so I think for now, yeah, let's go to this. Because, okay, so I need 9 AP for this. I don't know, I don't remember if I've been, 1 sec. Let's try that. And then, let's make sure, so do I have the ability to start with 9 AP with her? Because if so, I'm just going to be blasting everything apart with this. So let's see. How do I go to her page? 1 second. Actually, I should rest first. Okay. She has an entire plot about trying to convince herself that she's superior to a certain being. Oh, that's really, really cool. Yeah, I want to check this out now. Her method is to first beat it through cheap tactics and then look down upon it to convince herself that she's above. No, I love that. That's a really interesting idea. Damn it, now I need to go get into the series, apparently. Oh, shit, I thought, like... I thought SK was like growing out of Monoko for a second there. That was creepy. Okay, hang on a second. So, energizing parry plus 1 AP on successful parry. Okay, let's see. That is 626 health. That's a lot of fucking health from one thing. Okay, let's see what else though. No longer gain AP on parry. Okay. Where are the, like, energizing things? Combo, base attack, healing parry, healing counter. Auto rush. I rush for 3 turns on battle start. Maybe. I forget what rush does, actually. No longer gain AP. Oh, yeah, shit. Okay. Empowering tint. Okay, I want to see. On death plus 4. Death's Door, no. Where is, like, Energizing Start 4? Okay. So, this will give me +1 AP on battle start. I think... Well, critical rate and speed are really good, though. Apply inverted... Yeah, okay, so... That's the thing. I don't want to reduce my critical rate for this. I just want... Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this out for Energizing Start 4. Because that will give me nearly the same amount of health. But it will give me 1 additional AP to start off with. It will get me less on parry. But it's hopefully going to help me burn through things immediately. So we'll see how that goes. I'm probably going to need to mess with that a little bit, but we'll see. Okay. Clair Obscur won the Game Music Award at this year's World Soundtrack Awards. Yeah, I hope it won every award 3 times over. Like, it's one of the best, like, game scores, like, I've ever heard. Just, like, hands down. Both in terms of, like, its overall production quality as well as its composition quality, but also its, like, innovation. It's one of the most unique soundtracks I've ever heard. Like, listen to that. Oh my god. So, I'm only starting off with 8, so I need 9. Yeah. Okay, so now I need to tweak that next turn. That's okay. I mean, you know. It is what it is. Okay, so if they're going to be resistant to Earth, I better swap his stuff out too. Good to know. I'll try the fire. Well, the thing with his fire attack, though, is that it's also not always going to trigger. Okay. So let's put Verso back to... Oh, what's this below them? Perfection is now based on current health. Gain 1 rank every 20... No, I'm not gonna... I'm not doing that. Light damage with skills is pretty good. Well, I don't know. That is actually 20% increased light damage with skills. That is actually really good. But I need to be at low health in order. Yeah, so this is good if you combo. I don't like this really risky play though. I like safe play. So I'm gonna go back to Lanzaram, as boring as it is. But let's see. So I need her to have 1 more. Is there anything in here that I can use? So she has Energizing Start, Dead Energy. There's got to be another Energizing something. Energizing Start 3. Energizing Start 2. Okay, what do I have that I can get rid of that? Let's try... I need 10? No, I need 8. Energizing Start. Yeah, I already have this. Okay, so I need 10, so I need 2 more. And I guess I could do this. Well, I'm not using Dodger, so this should go anyway. And if I do... Increase counterattack damage is good. Break. Increase damage on the first hit once per battle. That's right, that's really good. Burning shots, that's pretty good. Dead energy 3. That is pretty good, actually. But I have it with the Pictos now anyway. So I can take that off. Oh, it's granted by the equipped Pictos. Okay. 50% increased critical chances if health is below 30. I don't need that as much as I need this. And then I can bring accelerating last stand. Let's see what else. Marking shots. Let's just do that. Fine, whatever. Okay. Let's see if that gets me there. Well, it's so chill. Look at her aura farming while slicing people in half, says Saria. Yeah, she's... I mean, like, finesse, grâce et précision, right? He has them all in equal measure, as far as I can tell. Yeah, you see, you can hear the singing coming from down in the pit, so to speak. It is kind of interesting that they had her sing in English speech, you know, rather than just in some vaguely ethereal language or phonemes or whatnot. This is very interesting too. Oh, hi. Something I can smash. Perfect. My favorite. Whoa, whoa. He's like a dog wanting a biscuit or something. Okay, let's see if this actually works. Which I'm guessing they're flying, so it might not. But okay, now I at least have enough to try. Okay, that was fucking awesome. Nice, okay. Oh, that was stupid. Why did I do that? Sometimes my brain don't work so good. Those are interesting matchups for sure, Realman. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on them if you think you know like who the victor would be. I personally don't know enough about those series to be able to really comment just yet. But let me know what you think. What do you think is the most misunderstood matchup in Naruto, if you had to say? Oh shit, why did you do that? Why did it switch targets? It was so weird. Nice, okay. I mean, like, this is working just fine for now.
Gilles, de l'expédition 55. Je ne comprends pas. Jusque-là, nos armes marchaient parfaitement. Augmenter la puissance des pictos à l'aide de musique était une idée de génie. Sauf que le son semble sans effet sur les névrons. À croire qu'ils n'entendent pas notre musique. Ils dansent uniquement sur la leur. Nous sommes à court d'idées. Mes filles me manquent terriblement. Ça me fait mal de me dire que je pourrais être à la maison, en train de jouer de la musique pendant qu'elle danse devant moi. Et Rochelle a dû accoucher depuis le temps. Je pourrais tenir mon premier petit enfant dans mes bras et au lieu de ça, je suis là. Non, il reste encore une chance. Et quelqu'un doit continuer à se battre pour les générations futures. Je peux pas les laisser tomber. Les tambours, peut-être que ça pourrait marcher. Ils n'entendent pas notre musique, mais si ça se trouve, ils peuvent sentir ces vibrations.
Really cool. Oh, and they have the that's such a nice touch that they put the guitar there as well. I love that they tried to find a way to, like, an innovative way to try to fight these things. It does actually kind of oh yeah, sorry, the voice acting is incredible, like, consistently. Oh, sorry, Realman, you said Pochita wins and Agni wins. Yeah, interesting. So Pochita, and please don't spoil this for me if I'm off the marker, but I kind of figured that Pochita was, like, gone for the series, because, you know, after merging with Denji at the start, didn't really seem to have, it seemed to kind of have been gone, and I thought that was a really interesting, like, narrative setup. So I'll be curious to see. I mean, I figured you would probably come back, or they would probably come back at some point. I was just unclear about, like, when that would happen, you know what I mean? Tsunade versus Sakura is misunderstood. Interesting. I'm guessing that, if I had to guess, that people would be repping Sakura and you would be more on Tsunade's side. Is that a correct guess? So this is such a minor thing. It doesn't really matter. But if I had the chance to work on this, one thing that I would do with the music in the background is I would try to make sure that the there's a setting in Wise that you can use in the audio software to make sure that a piece of music continues playing sort of quietly in the background rather than restarting. So what I think is happening here, unfortunately, is that every time you start a battle, it totally stops the music playing from the sirène. And it's doing that because, like, well, obviously you don't need, from a performance standpoint, from a memory standpoint, you don't want to have the music playing in the background if you can't hear it. So obviously you would pause it or stop it. But I think what they're doing is that once you exit the battle, they're restarting the track from the beginning. And so if you're kind of, hello friend, if you're kind of going in and out of battles, you hear the same little start segment from the music playing over and over again, and it is a little bit immersion breaking. Wise does actually have a feature called Center Virtual Voice, and what this does is, like, when you would normally go to stop a sound from playing, instead you convert it into basically like a fake version of the sound. You just keep track of where the sound, that's nice, where the sound would be if it were to continue playing. So basically, you know, you stop actually playing the sound back, but if it's like 10 seconds into the song, you just keep ticking the timer, like 11, 12, 13 seconds, whatever. And then once you get out of the battle, you just resume playing it as if you had never left, right? You resume playing it from time elapsed is the phrasing that gets used. And I think that would potentially help mitigate this a little bit, that effect. But I don't know if anybody would actually notice it, or if it's just me, because like nerds like me who just spend way too much time with this shit, you know? Probably most people aren't gonna notice or care. I think I didn't get one of these back in one of the previous areas as well. Shields, I don't really use shields all that much. I think there was another elevator back there, right? I don't know if this is gonna be critical path or not, but fuck it, let's try it. Yoink. Yeah, exactly. Best characters in Chainsaw Man are probably Maki Mainaki. Yeah, okay, I need to spend more time with this. So somebody just got me into, is it Spectre or Ted? Maybe, I think it was Ted, but it might have been both of them intermittently. Kind of got me into reading Vagabond, and I'm about 4 chapters into it. I'm really liking it so far in terms of the overall art and everything. I will say, you know, like, I think my partner would actually say I'm probably being overly sensitive about this, but I'll have to ask her later. But I have a pretty hair trigger, so to speak, for like, I guess let's just say, like, women having a really bad day being used as a plot device in media. And like, I don't want to get too dark with the stream, but obviously, like, people have trauma, and women sometimes have specific kinds of trauma that men don't have as much of, and it is important to portray that accurately, to destigmatize it, to make people more comfortable of discussions around it, and it's a valid and important part of media and media discussion because it's a part of life. You know, not depicting it, not discussing it would be equivalent to erasure of people's lived experiences, and that's not good, obviously. But when that sort of thing gets used almost as like a gimmick, and it's kind of done in a sort of callous way, I have a very I really don't like it. It pisses me off. It's just kind of gross and feels lazy. So Dan, right? Like the opening theme to Dan by Creepy Nuts, I think it's called Otonoke, is one of my like recent favorite songs. I fucking love that song. I found out about Creepy Nuts from that and from the OP to what's that other show they did? Mashal. And I love their songs, and so I'm glad that show exists, and I was really looking forward to getting into it. And I won't spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but, you know, there's a female character and a male character in the first episode, and some stuff happens to the female character, and it's kind of played up as a joke. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something else with my time, because this sucks. I just really couldn't get into it. And so I got to, like, chapter 4 or 5 of Vagabond, and I'm really liking it, and I like what the series, you know, seems to be having to say, and where it's going. But also, it's like, wow, you guys are really, really leaning on this one very particular depiction of a female experience over and over again. I really wonder if this is going to, like, change or evolve at all, because also that was fucking insane how much damage she just did, because this kind of sucks. There are other ways to empower your male character besides having them interact with women in this one particular way. And it's like, okay, whatever. Now you've gotten that out of your system, you can proceed with the story, right? Like, that's how this is gonna work? Anyway. Why was I saying that? I don't even remember how I fucking got on that note. Just a rant, hope you enjoyed. Let's see, what do I have the most hits with? Assault 0, probably. Oh, I should have revived her. There we go.
Montre-moi ce que tu sais faire.
But god damn it. I can't believe, well, she got all of those shield charges back. It's just gonna take a while, huh? Damn, okay. Oh, so it's gonna be about, like, parrying to get through the shield, I guess. Do I think Kishimoto hates women? No, I don't think she hates women at all. I think Kishimoto is a little bit naive and a little bit immature in the way that he depicts romance. And I think that, unfortunately, what this means is that he, especially when designing, like, love interests for some of his characters, he can be pretty reductive in the way that he portrays the female side of those characters. He also, I think, overwhelms himself with too many characters and gives them too much shit to do, and gives himself too much to do in terms of, like, keeping up with all of those characters. And as a result, a lot of the characters don't have like, the arcs that they should, so to speak. I will say there is some misogyny. Oh, I used the wrong attack, goddammit. There is definitely some misogyny in the books and in the data books as well. And I can talk about why I'm saying that. I'm not just trying to, like, throw shade. It's just there are some kind of outdated misogynistic tropes in there. But I don't think it comes from a place of Kishimoto specifically, like, hating women or even, like, thinking negatively about women. He just has kind of an outdated view. Like, if you go through the third data book, for example, there's like 4 or 5 different descriptions of female characters that are something along the lines of, this character, as the woman in the group, this character has to make sure to keep the hot-headed men in line and make sure that she takes care of them so that they can do their important mission, right? It's stuff like that. It's like, he designated several characters, like Ino is one of them, and then 1010 is another, if I remember correctly, as this is the character that cleans up the messes and keeps people, like, behaving like adults, right? So that they can do their job, and talks about her more as an accessory than in terms of, like, their own power, so, or their own, like, skills or whatever. So that is kind of unfortunate that he decides to take that particular approach. What the fuck am I doing? Gradient attack, there we go. And I don't really know what else to say about that other than, you know, that it's unfortunate. But Kishimoto also, like, very clearly put in a lot of effort, especially in part 1, towards making characters that are female characters that are well-rounded and that are strong and that have like, meaningful and important personal desires and goals, who deal with hardship and overcome it, who grow. And he also understands that it's possible to be a quote-unquote girly girl, but also to be tough and strong. Like, he doesn't have this, like, I think sometimes people, you've heard the term girl boss before, right? I'm sure, like, one of the like, risks or, like, shortcomings of trying to be an ally, so to speak, can sometimes be, like, if you're writing for female character and your goal is to make them empowered, that you just focus on empowering them and don't show any weaknesses, because it's like, oh, if you show a weakness or a flaw, then you're showing a woman who is bad, and that's misogynistic. Whereas, like, what the goal is to do is really just to depict women just like men, as they are, as human beings with strengths and weaknesses, flaws and drawbacks, and heroic moments and cowardly moments, and just show the full spectrum, right? Not treat any gender or race or anything else as a prop. Just depict everybody like fairly and equally, or equivalent, fairly equitably is what I'm trying to say. And so a lot of times, like, I was just listening to this, I should share it in the channel actually, listening to this great video about like queer depictions and queer narratives in Naruto, and whether or not like Sakura was intentionally designed to be quote unquote bad. But one of the things that this YouTube creator that she pointed out is that like one of her favorite characters is from a Studio Ghibli movie, and that character is not a hero. They're not particularly competent, they're not strong, they're not powerful, you know, they're not super courageous or whatever, but they're normal, and they feel real, and they feel actual, and she feels like an empathetic connection with that character. And then late in the movie, this character has an opportunity to make a choice to do something that requires courage, and she makes that choice, and it's so fucking cool and so badass, right? So the overall point is I think the goal of writing like a strong female character successfully, not that I'm the fucking arbiter of this, just my opinion, right, is that you want them to feel like any other character, to feel well-rounded, to have some opportunity for some growth and some expression, to have things that they care about that are genuinely interesting and compelling in their own right, and not just as an accessory to somebody else. And then also to like let them be the person that they are, not just serving a function in the plot. So there's absolutely nothing wrong or pejorative or anything about a woman being a traditionally feminine, trad wife, even like female character archetype. And there's nothing wrong with a man writing that archetype either. The problems only really arise if those characters are only used as props or are treated like misogynistically or something like that. And I think in early Naruto, Kishimoto does a great job of like letting Sakura be a girly girl, which is a good thing to be, and letting her care about like pretty little flowers, and letting her like wear her hitayate as like her headband as like a hair accessory almost, and like letting her just be a teen girl. And then also giving her some fucking incredibly badass, gritty, awesome moments where she's like protecting the people that she cares about, and where she's like staring down like shuriken and kunai coming right at her face and not even fucking blinking, like. And so he sets up these really great initial female character archetypes. Yes, Tsunade has the big booba, and yes, they are very much on display in a way that probably feels very gratuitous, especially to an audience that's not like particularly anime savvy, so to speak, isn't used to that kind of stuff. So am I gonna say that there's zero misogyny or zero exploitation or fan service in Tsunade? No. And the whole trope of her like, oh, I have to spend some of my chakra to maintain a youthful appearance, like, maybe that's a little misogynistic too. But vanity is a human trait, and like wanting to feel sexy is a human trait, and then using that sexuality as an advantage over others, especially if you're like gambling or whatever with a lot of your time, is also a human trait. It's a thing people do. And that like sexiness, traditional sexiness if you want to call it that, is coupled with her being able to shatter fucking castles with a single kick, and like being toe-to-toe with some of the strongest characters in the world, having the strongest summon, I think, in the series, other than like Kurama whatever, or the Geto statue. So I think he does often do a very good job of balancing those things. In part 1. In part 2, it all fucking falls apart. And I don't know what the fuck happened between part 1 and part 2. I don't know if the series just got too big, big for its britches or whatever. But Karin is the absolute... If everything I just described as like is on one side of the spectrum, Karin is on the other fucking side of the continent on the spectrum. You know what I mean? Like, Karin is probably the worst character in this series, and she only exists to gas up Sasuke and to like just throw herself all over him. And she doesn't even really have any reason to do so. She's just there to serve as an accessory to him and make us feel things about him. And it like she's like slobbering over his dirty clothing and like trying to like essay him, and it's just like I fucking hate the way that character is designed. Hinata, really, like, yeah, it's kind of badass that she stands up to pain. That's really great. But she's only really there to just tell Naruto that she loves him, to then give him a mental amp, right? Like, yeah, it's pretty cool that Hinata does some, like, taijutsu in the war against the Ten Tails or whatever. But at the same time, she's only doing it when she gets empowered with Naruto's KCM cloak. She's just there to hold his hand and say, wow, Naruto-kun, it feels so warm. I feel so comforted. It's like, it's so cringy. Like, let her, at least Sakura in the end kind of gets to stand alongside Naruto and Sasuke. Except that, like a fucking idiot, when they're actually squaring off against Madara, she says, okay, I'll be the decoy, and just runs directly at him and immediately fucking like gets her intestines skewered. Like, could she not, like, why does she think so lowly of herself that all she can do is just serve as like a meat shield? You know, why in the Kaguya fight is she relegated? That sucked. Why in the Kaguya fight is she relegated to just like waiting for an opportunity to come at Kaguya from behind when she's already been harried by the other three characters there? Like, she deserves more than that. And Kishimoto just is like, nah, fuck it, she'll come into the end when she's needed. You know, like, fuck that. And then in Boruto, she's a fucking house mother? Are you kidding me? Like, the prodigy of medical ninjutsu, like, wielder of some of the strongest and fiercest taijutsu and healing jutsu, and she's just at home cooking? Like, she doesn't do anything. She didn't do anything the whole fucking series. She just exists off screen. What the fuck? Like, it's so, I'm so mad about the way that she got done in Boruto. It's inexcusable. It's fucking ridiculous. And yeah, I know she does things during the whole like Scarlet Spring or whatever it's called with like the Shin arc. Yeah, that doesn't count. I'm talking about the actual Boruto series. So yeah, it starts off really strong and then it goes off a fucking cliff. I don't even know what to say, man. It's really, really bizarre. Are you kidding me? That wasn't enough to deal with it? Is there a trick to this? Okay, this is going to be... Oh, I got two more. Right. Really doing a whole lot, but okay. I better do this. Oh, what the fuck is happening? Oh shit, no, come on. Am I not gonna get another shot at this? There's no fucking way I can kill it now. Come on, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? What the hell? I mean, that was like decent. There's no way I'm beating it now, though. God damn it. Get back here. I don't know what I did wrong, man. I guess I just have to, like, just gotta, like, parry better or something. Does he respawn? Oh, sorry, I gotta catch up on, some fucking messages here, my bad. I went off on a fucking tear, didn't I? Sorry about that. Sorry, it says, Cultist is so chill, I wish he were real. Yeah, I wish a lot of things in this game were real. I think I'd probably start with Eskie, though, if you don't mind. But yeah, Cultist is very chill. Realman says, I don't think his intentions were bad with that particular thing. He probably wanted to make women as the smart side that balances out the three or something like that. Yeah, exactly. And like, look, just to be clear, having a character who is a warrior make the decision. I'm going to contradict myself a little bit here. Make the decision for herself. Like, you know what? I had my days in the war, and I had my fill of battle and conflict, and I decided that's not what I want for myself. What I want is to stay at home and take care of a child. That is what I want for myself. That is actually incredibly empowering. That is somebody exercising their free will and making a choice about what's right for them and their family. And there's nothing like misogynistic inherently about making that choice. What would be misogynistic is saying like Sakura like can't make the choice for herself, and like Naruto has to make Sasuke has to make the choice for her or something like that, right? So there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's just the way that it was done. It felt like she had become such an accessory. You know what I mean? And it wasn't as a result of a decision or some agency. It was just she was sort of cast aside because she didn't need to be in the spotlight. And even now, like, I'm trying to think. Ada is kind of a cool character, and I do kind of like her. Well, I probably shouldn't go on a whole like Boruto rant right now, but I guess like the point being that I don't really feel like the things that Kishimoto did to set up his world initially really got the proper, like, I guess, love and resolution that they deserved later in the series, if that makes sense. Sakura getting an entire Who's the Father arc instead of just explaining to Sarada. Yeah, so that was actually, I might be in the minority here, but I actually, I actually kind of wish it turned out that Karin was Sakura's mom. Like, I don't know how they would have explained that away, but I enjoyed like the drama and the tension that was bringing into the situation. I don't know, I thought it was like an interesting twist, and Sasuke is such like, I don't know, he's such an emotionless, joyless, sexless, like romance and not emotionless. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Like, he doesn't. Okay, actually, this is actually a decent part of his character, and I'm not giving it enough credit. So, I think because of his like trauma and the things that he has gone through, and the way that the choices that he made, and him being an Avenger and everything, and going through a fucking war as a teenager, you know, he doesn't really have a very well established or evolved love language. And so he's not very great at expressing affection, just put it that way. So the idea that he had some sort of entanglement with another person and then didn't really know what to do with that, and then also wound up with Sakura but didn't really know what to do with that situation, and then maybe Karin didn't really want a kid, but like everything got kind of complicated, and then they wound up in this weird, awkward situation. That actually feels kind of appropriate given like everything these characters have been through and how they work. And I will say that like I don't know, I don't have like an issue with that in and of itself. And I, for whatever reason, kind of enjoyed the whole like maybe there's like more to this romance behind the scenes that we saw thing. It's just an interesting thing to be exploring, I guess. It says Sasuke deadbeat. I mean, yeah, he's like barely a dad. He's barely around. I don't even know what to say about his quote unquote parenting skills. It's atrocious. Oh wow. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Oh wow. But yeah, I don't know. I really want to hear other people's thoughts on this, because I don't want to be like, oh, look at me, just because I can fucking scale pain over Kakuzu, that means that I can, you know, do an emotional analysis of the relationships in this series and tell people how to feel, right? Like, I'm very hesitant to do that. But I will say that, God damn it. I gotta stop doing that. It's so stupid. But I will say that, like, shit, I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. 1 second. Let me deal with this. That's cool. Oh, yeah, with, No, sorry, I totally blanked. I don't even know what I was saying. I think just that, like, the relationship between Sasuke and Karin and oh yeah, okay, so it is kind of weird to me, right? That, like, I don't really feel any genuine love and affection and connection between Sakura and Sasuke leading up towards the end of the series. Maybe I missed something, but the most affection that I remember them ever expressing towards each other is when Sasuke, when he's about to, like, leave the village, he, like, thumps her on the back of the neck and says, "Sakura, thank you for everything," or something like that. So there's something there. There's some kind of, you know, kinship there. But really, like, Sasuke never particularly cared about Sakura all that much. Like, he cared more about, like, Lee than Sakura, to my reading from part 1. It's just like Sakura's whatever she was doing with her time just wasn't all that interesting to him, and they didn't really have those bonding moments. I mean, like, and this, I think, was what the person talking about the queer analysis was kind of getting at, was like, Naruto and Sasuke spend the entire night together, like, climbing up those trees, challenging each other, and Sakura doesn't, like, have to do the training because she's already, like, better than them, and so she goes off and does something else, and then, like, she's only ever, like, referred to as an accessory for Naruto and Sasuke, right? In other words, like, Naruto goes to ask for advice from her, and then Sasuke goes to ask Naruto for Sakura's advice, but, like, nothing really happens between Sakura and Sasuke. During the Haku fight, Naruto and Sasuke get in the mirrors, and they're there together, saving each other, like, looking out for each other in the mirrors. Sakura comes in after the fight is over and mourns for Sasuke, and they do have a moment there, but at the end of the day, it's, like, not the same kind of, like, fighting together bonding, right? When Sasuke and Naruto are passed out in the forest, Sakura is taking care of them. She's protecting them, and then Sasuke wakes up, and then he, defends her as well. But they're not fighting alongside each other. Same thing with the Gaara fight. Just go through the whole series, right? They are constantly written into situations where they're separated, and the real, like, bond, or, like, Sakura is knocked out by Gaara or whatever, and then, like, Naruto and Sasuke are the ones that are doing the actual, like, bonding and stuff. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like the two of them make a better couple. The only thing that I honestly kind of feel like Sakura, like, bullies Sasuke into being in a relationship with her in a similar way to, like, Naruto bullying him into being friends with him, but they had more of a precedent to start off with. I don't get the romance between them at all. But I guess it kind of makes sense since Sasuke's kind of broken. Maybe he just, like, doesn't know how to deal with his shit, and Sakura has been loyal. So he's like, okay, well, this person is obsessed with me. Like, she's clearly loyal. So I guess this seems fine, right? I don't know.
Vous pouvez remercier l'expédition 67 d'avoir détruit tous ces murs. Sans ça, on n'aurait pas pu progresser.
C'est comme à la maison.
In what way, Luden? I'm talking a lot about Naruto stuff, but yeah, I mean, this whole level is just incredibly beautiful. It's serene, it's haunting, it's melancholy. That giant, like, worm in the background was really amazing. I love how this place is, like, all draped in cloth and silk, and it feels very soft but kind of suffocating as well. Really, really, really beautiful and really cool. Riomen says, oh, I'm like way behind on chat. Let me see. Karin is the worst in the series. Yeah, I'd agree there. Rare W for Sasuke for doing what he did to her in the Danzo fight. That was, like, one of the coldest, like, panels that we have in the series, was him being like, Karin, don't move or whatever, and then he, like, fires the what does he use? The Chidori something. So that was definitely a really awesome moment. I almost missed this shit. Oh my god. It's pretty awesome. Ida, I like Ida as a character. I think on her own she's pretty cool. I think that there's kind of a lack of interesting strong female characters doing interesting strong female character things. Hi. For example, Ikemoto, why why don't you spawn more girls in plants, Ikemoto? Huh? Where have you been? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why don't you have your characters start off inside flowers? Anyway, sorry, it was really funny. So like in isolation, she's fine. I think it's just like, puppy, I love you. You're wonderful. It's perfect. This is the most beautiful character in the game. Perfect. Absolute perfection. Down to the minute detail. Every inch of it is perfect. Is there something in here I'm supposed to do other than just like gawk at the dog? I guess not. Cool. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, interesting. So it seems to me like the color of this object and the texture and the swirlies on it are similar to the ones that we see in the area with the dancer. Oh, it also looks like there's like a Rorschach pattern in the middle there too. I wonder if it's going to turn out that the area is kind of designed after this, so there's a connection there. Yeah. But yeah, let me catch up on chat. Doesn't Sakura work in the hospital or something like that? Yeah, I think she probably does. I think in the beginning we just see her like with an apron on, you know, and she's just tending to the home. She probably does actually work in the hospital. But like they don't take her with her to fight fucking. Sakura is one of the few people that's actually fought an Otsutsuki before, and they don't even think to take her to fight like Momoshiki and Kinshiki. To me, like that's fucking wild. Karin and like if you believe the you know scaling glaze, if you want to call it that, you know, Sakura did actually damage Kaguya and like helped win that fight. Like they might not have won without her being there. Like obviously, you know, I'm not trying to debate Sakura over Kaguya, but I'm saying that she was there and she helped, and things might have gone very differently if she wasn't there. I mean, in addition to just like the shit that she did with Obito with the portals, but also, you know, just that final punch at the end. What's the word for it? Cinch the victory, clench the victory. I can't remember what the term for it is, but yeah, I don't know. Karin being Sahara's mom would never have been the case in Naruto. They don't do weird twists like that. That is true. Good twist, it does have some, but yeah, but not on controversial topics like that. Yeah, you're probably right. Sakura doesn't have much of a reason to like him in Shippuden. Yeah, I would agree with that, unless she's mentally ill. Well, they might be. I mean, here's the thing. You have to remember that all of these children are probably like heavily traumatized. They've seen death. They've been tortured. They've like had some of the most dire experiences you could ever think of. Like they thought the entire world and everybody in it was going to die, right? So like Sakura was suspended over like a pit of boiling fucking acid and thought she was going to fall into it. Like she's seen some shit. Like they all have. They could have died in the forest of death. So there's a lot that these characters have been through that I think kind of we might forget about with the excitement of the story and everything. Just gonna do a quick upgrade cycle here. Okay, let's see how. Oh, yep, quite a bit. Yeah, I think it makes sense to just keep increasing this. Actually, let's do this. Yeah. Okay, cool. Save skills for later. I would probably say so, but I doubt that it was intended by the author, so yeah, nah. Fair. In the Boruto movie novel, they complained that they didn't take Rock Lee to fight Momoshiki. Oh, that makes sense, yeah. He probably would have been quite useful there. It is a bit of a weird choice. I mean, I guess, like, here's the thing, right? If you want to talk about, like, misogyny in Naruto, compare Sakura versus Shin to whoever the lady's name is. Nobody knows her name. She probably doesn't even have a name. Don't try to pretend like you know her name, because nobody does. It's the Mizukage, I think. It's the lady who, you know, the one lady who's actually present in the fight of the Gokage that show up. And how, just look for the pose that's in like chapter 7 or 8 or something, where she like bends over and just everything, just all of her everything is just on full display. Behind, like the camera isn't pointing at it, but it's there because it's just there. So everybody else is like, check me out, I'm gonna use my sand. Check me out, I'm gonna use my lightning. Check me out. Are you gonna do something special? You get a cool tag? No, just check me out. It's just like, wow, Ikemoto, good job. And compare that to like Sakura. Like Sakura might not have the most agency in the world, but in that Shin fight, like she is in command and she is presented as a human being and not just like a fucking prop. So yeah. Naruto characters, when a guy with white skin shows up at Naruto, Sasuke and run to fight. Yeah, exactly. Back in the box. Oh no, May. I think that's no, it's not May. May is the Mizukage in Shippuden. I'm talking about there's like a black-haired woman who's the Mizukage in Boruto, sorry. Who goes on like, it's like Darui, Gaara, Naruto, and then two others, right? And one of them, is it May and then one other person? I forget, the other person with the black hair. I don't know her name. I always forget. Did I confuse a village? I might have. Oh, Kurotsuchi. Yeah, Kurotsuchi. Oh, she's from Stone, and then May is from the Mizukage. Okay, I got that confused. Sorry. Oh, Chojiro's a Mizukage. Okay. That's right. And he uses the that flat sword thing. I remember that. Okay. To like cut through the tree. Yeah, Kurotsuchi. That's the one. Which, doesn't Kurotsuchi just mean like black stone or black rock or something like that? Ominous. Really interesting. I really want to know Fish Sword Boy. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I will remember this. Just make sure I make a mental note. Okay. Yep. Fish Sword Boy. Okay. I will remember Fish Sword Boy and nothing else about this scene. Understood. Sorry. Yeah, Fish Sword Boy. Well, I think it was cool. Sorry, sometimes I just get like drawn in because it's funny because like painting by all of the like the enemy design and everything. Wow, this thing is so fucking cool. Let's kill it. Oh. Wanna be friends? Why do I keep falling for that? Oh my god. I have to stop. God, I fucking love the design of this thing. What the hell is that? Let's get rid of the minor things first. I wonder if maybe she might be like slightly overpowered, just like a tiny bit. Okay. 240 defense. Jesus Christ.
Sympa.
600 health is not bad either. Yeah, this is totally the same like texture and color as the as that cloth in the bathroom. Oh, but I was gonna say I really want to know if we wind up getting an explanation as to why those like fading man, fading child, stuff like that, why they decided to render their voice as like those creepy whispers as opposed to a more traditional like vocal treatment. Like, I mean, you could just say because it's creepy, but I don't know, I feel like it feels like a more deliberate decision, you know what I mean? Like, I guess they're just trying to tell the story of them being like faded away, and it's easier to do that if like their like voices, of course, sound human and sound familiar, and so they're going to sound more alien if they're rendered in that particular way. And also, I guess, like, you know, it's kind of, it becomes harder to do a vocal performance that's convincing for, I think, for some of those lines in particular, when you don't have all that strong of a reference for the character, if that makes sense. Like, your direction is creepy. Oh, hi. Hi, whoa, hi. Holy shit, that scared me. Oh my god. Fucking, I think that scared me more than the fucking mannequins and, or scarecrow things in Silent Hill F. Holy shit. Wowee. Okay, I'm going to need to... Like, nobody noticed that, right? Anyway. I totally lost my train of thought through that shit. It's crazy. Yeah, the fucking mime dabbing on me. I am kind of surprised that they haven't really evolved the mime's, what do you call it? One second. They haven't really evolved the mime's, like, attack set, you know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing as it was during the first mime fight. It's just, like, they have more health and they deal more damage. I wonder if that's going to change at any point. Nice, okay. Finesse et grâce. And maybe one of those. I mean, it's just disgusting what she's capable of now. Damn it, I can't believe I missed that shit. Fuck. I feel so stupid. Alright. That works. Be a very, very satisfying like base pulse there on that attack. So that's interesting. I wonder if we're going to get any more lore on the mimes, because, you know, I'm assuming that the word mime comes from the same root word as mimic, and that doesn't look friendly. And if that's the case, you know, then that means that, like, okay, the there is a fast travel. Hang on. Oh, okay, it's just within this area. I see. So the idea of, like, a mime being something that mimics something else, right? Makes sense. And so we have a character called a mime that has some kind of equipment that resembles another character in the area, and it's going to a specific character. And so it makes me wonder, like, okay, why are these creatures imitating other things? And is there some kind of storytelling information that we can glean from who they're imitating and why? You know what I mean? Why? What the fuck? Can I not, like, start the battle first with these guys? That's kind of cool. Oh, nice. Oh, it's like, is it using the chroma to, like, generate its own weapons? That would be really cool. Or like to just generate whatever weapons it needs based on the context of the fight.
Attention.
Shit. soon on that one. Yeah, she definitely needs more defense if I'm gonna play with that weapon. Too squishy. Okay. Alright, so this is... Does this loop back around? Yeah, okay, I think so. Well, I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, that's where I came from. Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, I'm just going around in a circle. Okay. Makes sense. So I think it's over 3 hours now, so I think I'm gonna try this boss a couple times, see if we can make any progress. And I'll probably wrap it up for the night. I was hoping we would get to the Axon, but not sure. We'll see. Attributes. Yeah, it is still getting something out of that. I think she needs more damage though, like base damage. As for you, my friend, yeah. Okay, yeah, I like having a nice even 50, although I know it's boosted. And we can do... Just keep going with this, I think. Because it's like the B scaling, like it's going to be very difficult for me to break away from that weapon anyway, so just keep going on the platform where we have a lot of scaling for. Wow, this is so cool. Okay, is it like some sort of a seamstress or...
Le tisseur. Il est aux ordres de Sirène.
Alors il crée tout ça pour elle?
Cool.
On ferait bien de l'éliminer. Ce sera plus facile d'affronter Sirène s'il n'est plus là.
Oh, that's cool. I wonder if they're gonna actually give me the... Oh yeah, and you can see like the needles and the thread. That's so cool. You know, on the one hand, it's like... It's really cool to see how all this gets here. On the other hand, it also kind of... Like, well, I don't say it ruins, but it sort of detracts from the mystery a little bit. Because it's kind of cool to think of these things just sort of being willed into being or painted into being or whatnot, as opposed to, you know, being fabricated. That does, I won't say it ruins anything, but it changes something. And I kind of like the idea of it being a little bit more eldritch. But also, I'm wondering if that sort of thing is going to be a problem anytime soon. We saw one back there before. Oh wait, is there a thing? Notice that. That's probably going to come up after the boss fight. Unless... This, oh, okay. I can actually go up and explore a little bit before the fight. I'm definitely doing it, though. I'm not going to, like, miss out on this content. I did... I wish I could remember where... There was a previous area where there was, like, these 3 little dudes that were, I don't know, hanging out in front of a hot air balloon or something. And I didn't fight them, and I kind of regret that. I should go back and if I can find them again. There's 2.
Sympa.
Sympa. Don't know where the other one is right now. Wonder if I have to... Yeah, so I hear the sound from this one. I thought I heard another one around here. Oh, there it is. Ooh, okay. I appreciate that those are really just like, hey, have you been fucking paying attention tasks, as opposed to actual pixel hunts like the fucking Odin's Ravens and God of War. I hated this shit. I really hate like scanning for stuff like that. That's just me. Oh. Sorry, it says, also sorry I've been a bit quieter than usual, but since I'm also watching GOT, I'm really just pinching to finish fast at this point. I want to pay close attention to understand my dislikes. Of course, not that people need a reason to dislike or like anything. The internet has convinced people they do, but you can just like or dislike something. Yeah, I'd absolutely agree with that. I like to pick my brain apart. I'm the same way. I feel like it helps me better understand myself. Yes, 100%. I'm the same way. And absolutely, yeah. You're, as always, you're not under any obligation to, like... you can just listen or whatever, you know. I appreciate that you are that you stop by and that you talk, but obviously, yeah. Um... Here's the thing. I want to attack this guy because I want to experience the content and experience the boss fight. But it's not hostile. We haven't attacked any of the other hostile Nevrons, including the ones that were out in front of that hot air balloon, or non-hostile Nevrons. So I think I'm gonna say no. And then if it turns out that like he attacks us during the fight later, then maybe I'll come back and do it again. I want to have the fight, but yeah. I think it's more in character for what we've done so far to just leave him alone. It sucks because I want to experience the boss fight, but I think it's better for the character, like role playing that we're doing so far, to just kind of keep going. Wow. Cool. Finally, I managed to get the drop on him. Realman says, yeah, like or dislike comes from subconscious factors. You can be aware of them to some level, though. Yeah, for sure. I think, like, understanding our, like, unconscious biases and all that is important to, like, understanding our true selves. This was actually, like, sort of a, I'm doing this horribly. Sort of a, what can I say? So there was a time in my life I was not particularly happy for a variety of factors. Oh, you know what I should do though, is I should make sure to take out Monoko at least for one fight, because I'm sure these creatures are gonna have some interesting skills, and if I like don't have that, like, him present, then he's not gonna get them, right? So but that being said, there was a period of time in my life where I was not doing super great mental health wise. I just had like a kind of bad experience in the family and everything, and I also really wasn't working on projects much myself. And at that time, I really wanted to try to create something, but oh god damn it! Hi, you terrifying looking creature. The way that I was trying to connect with people and create things was basically just like, how can I say? I thought I was going to be a critic, and that by tearing other people's work down, I was going to help them grow. Like, arrogant. It was arrogant of me to say this, of course, but like a Gordon Ramsay type thing, where like I would give the harsh criticism that, you if you couldn't take it, then maybe you shouldn't be making this in the first place, because you're playing with the big boys, not, like that kind of thing. Which was very silly. But I was inspired by certain YouTubers who I still think are overall positive, like, what's his name? Joseph Anderson, as an example. And I was interested in trying to, or like, Noah Caldwell-Gervais, and trying to figure out how to do critiques. So I had like I think 40 or 50,000 word critique that I had written, like a script for a video, on how, I think the title was like Horizon Zero Dawn, Everything Wrong with Modern Gaming, right? And that was basically, I should just go, basically just like dedicating myself to tearing apart the work that other people had made. And look, I think that there is genuinely some positivity and some productivity to be found in harsh, detailed, in-depth critique. However, in doing so, I also didn't want it to come across as like I was just giving my opinion, man, right? Like, it had to be more than that. It had to be that I was appealing to some sort of artistic concept or principle, and that I was demonstrating, proving, or whatever, that this art was good art or it was bad art, that these things were mistakes or they were not mistakes. And so it was very important to me that I be objective in my critique, but it's really hard to make an objectively correct subjective critique of art. You know, I don't even know if that's possible. So the compromise that I came up with for myself was like, okay, nothing about art interpretation is objective. However, we can decide together, like as a society or whatever, upon certain criteria for what makes art good or bad. And then we can evaluate objectively whether a piece of art meets those criteria. So the criteria themselves are subjective, but then we can evaluate objectively whether or not the thing is good. So for example, is a greasy, cheesy, like chunky, juicy, gross, delicious hamburger better or worse as a piece of food than a I don't really know meat very well, but like a prime ribeye steak that costs $200 or something like that. Well, what exactly do you mean by better, right? Like, if what you're in the mood for is a good old-fashioned, greasy, chunky hamburger, then it doesn't matter if that steak is the most perfect steak in the world, it's not going to satisfy you. It's not going to fill you up. It's not going to be what you want, and it's not going to taste as good to you. But the inverse is true as well, right? So, which one is better? Well, is the chef who makes the steak a better chef than the cook who makes the burger, or vice versa? Well, I think the only really fair way to evaluate that is to say, like, well, what was the goal that each of those people had? If the chef's goal was to make this perfect steak according to these specific regulations, and he succeeded or she succeeded, then yeah, they're great. And if they didn't, then they didn't. But it's a measure of whether or not they succeeded at what they were supposed to do or were trying to do. And the same thing for the burger, right? Like, maybe that person who made the burger has no fucking interest whatsoever in making ribeye or prime cut or whatever the fuck you call it, and genuinely just wants to make that for the sort of people that want to eat that, you know. And it's not really one being objectively better than the other, but we can still measure which one like succeeds at its own mission, if that makes any sense. And I tried to kind of create a compromise for myself like that, but at the end of the day, what I found is that the moment I actually started creating stuff myself, all of that changed. I realized like how much harder it is to make anything at all than nothing, and that all of the critiques and analysis that I could provide really didn't mean much unless they were actually going somewhere. Oh, drums. Are the drums coming from him? Glissando. Oh, what a cool name. Which means like sliding, right? It's also a type of musical gesture or something. I don't want to kill this thing. This thing's fucking awesome. Oh my god, that's insane. Okay, oh shit. So I was about to say that I really hate when bosses summon other enemies, but then this game, like, because it always does, tricked me and actually made me enjoy that. So good job. God damn it. Oh no. What's your point of charming her if you're just gonna smash her head? Goofy ass snake. Yeah, okay, well that's very, very helpful. Okay, let me see. Might as well take advantage of the inversion to just do one of these. And break? Yes, excellent. Okay. So I think I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to, yes, I can build my perfection, and then I can resurrect CL as well at the same time. Yeah, majestic naming conventions, absolutely. So I think as much as I do like the sword ballet thing, I'm also kind of like not gonna wait around to get up that high, you know what I mean? A lot of the times. I'm rethinking that a little bit. Damn it. Couldn't have taken any of the other ones, huh? Damn it. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna need to do a healing round, clearly. Oh, come on. Ooh. That was nice. I don't know if you guys heard that. There was like a little decrescendo in the whatchamacallit. Not a decrescendo. There was a little downward glissando in the music, actually. That was fucking beautiful. I think I have to try to play the safe though. So I'm going to... Yeah, I'm gonna heal up. Same thing here. And I think... Oh, I used the healing item on the wrong person. That's fine. Healing tint on... her. Go. No, don't do that. This is so strange. I feel like they're trolling me with the sound effect tells for that. Okay. Stop taking it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna need to play it safe. Okay, and healing tint on you. Okay. Almost there. This one I think I can do pretty easily. Famous last words, but oof. Okay, I don't know why they didn't counter, but oh, I see. Defeated. Something I'm going to need to do at some point is like listen to the lyrics in the soundtrack, because I can tell there's some storytelling going on in the background that I'm not picking up on. Like I definitely heard sans elle, which means without her, and I heard that same thing in the Lumiere theme. So I think it's 3.5 hours in the stream. I think I'm starting to get a bit tired, and also haven't eaten dinner, and also more to the point, like I want to make sure I'm taking my time through here and really like soaking it in. So I think we're gonna pick it up next time and see what this the second part of this area has to show for us. Thank you very much for the discussion. Thank you very much for the questions. It's been a lot of fun going over stuff with y'all. So this coming Sunday, we will at 6 p.m. EST continue our discussion of Lightspeed and Naruto. I think this time it's going to be relatively chill because we're basically just going to be wrapping up the topic overall. And then after that, I will post a poll asking what people want to talk about next. I think I might go into a video about Noodles versus Apollo, since I've been going over and listening to that debate again recently. But also, I do want to go over the Naruto versus Pain fight, and I do want to talk about Kaguya. And so there's more stuff on the horizon, but of course, any particular topics of interest that may come up, I'm more than happy to take suggestions. And then next Thursday, we will be back with more of this. So thank you very much for spending some time with me this evening. Thanks for checking out the video if you're watching this back. I will see you again soon, and hope you have a great night.